The Community Bank High School Football Game of the Week on WHIZ-TV is presented by the Community Bank. Now is the perfect time to join the Go Local movement by banking locally with the Community Bank. Genesis Orthopedic Center, where better begins here. By Williamson Insurance, the power of choice from top-rated national and regional insurance carriers. By Fink's Harley-Davidson, live to ride, ride to live. Fink's Quality Cars and RVs. Quick as a wink, deal with Fink and Fink's Easy Leasing and Rental. By Northside Pharmacy and Northside Oxygen and Medical Equipment. Northside, your pharmacy for life. By Norvell's Hearing Aid Centers in Zanesville and Cambridge, always here for you. By Foxfire Schools, free public alternative education serving students grade K through 12. By Kokonis Furniture and Mattress First, always making it easier for you to furnish your home. By City Tire Pros, serving our community since 1953. When you think tires, think City Tire Pros. By Denny's Classic Diner, America's favorite diner in Zanesville and Cambridge. Scoreboards are provided by the Finks family of motor vehicles and services, with instant replay brought to you by the Ohio Educational Credit Union and the halftime show presented by CA House Music.
It is the Community Bank Game of the Week here on WHIZ-TV. Week 9, Hank Kaufman along with Doug Clifford. Sam Hatfield Stadium at Philo High School here tonight. MVL Big School Showdown between the Giantland Muskies 3-5 and the Philo Electrics also 3-5. This is like a playoff game here tonight, so this should be a good one to say the least.
Well, it is. I mean, if you win, you still have a shot. If you lose, it's get ready for next year.
Both teams last week, well, John Glenn winners 20-14 over Riverview in overtime. So a big one for John Glenn, keeping their slim playoff hopes alive as they look to make the playoffs for a 6th consecutive year. Meanwhile, the Philo Electrics are looking to do so for a 3rd straight time. But they have lost 2 straight games. That's not helping their cause. Their schedule favors up good for them if they can win tonight. They get Maysville in the season finale. Maysville's 4-4, also fighting for their playoff lives. John Glenn, they win tonight, no guarantee, as they're on the outside looking in as well in their division and region. They have Tri-Valley next week in Week 10.
I think I've seen it, the playoff charts. Morgan, West, Philo, John Glenn, none of them control their destiny. That means that somebody ahead of them has to lose, and somebody behind them can't have a big win.
Yeah, Philo plays in Division 4. Region 15. John Glenn bumped up from Division 4, Region 15 to Division 3, Region 11, and it's much tougher for the Muskies, to say the least, this year than it has been in years past. John Glenn is ranked 19th. Again, top 16 qualifies, so they are 3 spots away from jumping into that final playoff spot. Philo, almost the same. They're 18th in their Division 4, Region 15 area. They, too, need a little bit of help. First things first, though, you got to win the game on the field here tonight, and we're in a great venue for that to happen.
Oh, this is great. Some of my worst memories of my coaching career happened right out here on this field. The Philo kids always play tough. I'm looking forward to this game.
Well, we have 8th-year head man Matt Edwards of the John Glenn Muskies for an interview right now, and we'll send it out for that and see what he thinks about this Week 9 contest.
You know, our kids are playing really hard right now. You know, we're still really, really young. We only have 5 seniors on the roster, and right now we're playing 3.5 of those. I hope to get another one back this week. So a lot of young guys who've been, called on to step up and play some football. And as a coach, what makes you really proud is we feel like every single week we're getting better. And the experience those young guys are getting shows up on Friday night. We've played every game. They play hard and they play to the very end. It's almost like we're mirror images. Their defense is playing really, really well at times, and at times their offense has struggled, and that's kind of who we are. But we know Philo is always going to be really physical. They're well coached. Dirk does a great job getting those kids amped up and ready to go. And we expect it's going to be just like it's been for the last 5 or 6 years. It's been a really good game for us lately. All the cliche stuff. We got to take care of the football. Got to get a couple stops on defense, and I think both defenses are going to play really well. So then all that stuff about field position and special teams and not turning the football over and penalties, all that stuff, it's really going to matter because I think you have 2 really good defenses playing on Friday night.
Matt Edwards of the John Glenn Muskies, head coach there. You heard his soundbite. And, Doug, we're going to have a chance to turn it over to Dirk Lincecum in his 13th year at Philo and see what he has to say leading up to our opening kickoff. Should be something.
Two good young head coaches.
You know, we've had some ups and downs this year, but we like where we're at coming in this week 9 against John Glenn. It's senior night, so that's always kind of a reality check for everyone. You know, we're still excited. We're still coming out here working hard every day to try to get better and improve. So just basically keeping the kids focused and making sure that everybody's all in at this point is the most important job. Well, I think in order for us to make a push for the playoffs, we have to take care of the football. Just as we have the last few weeks, even though we've come out on the short end, we've done a better job of taking care of the football, which has been very important for us. You know, defensively, we have to continue to just play solid base defense. John Glenn's really good. They're better than their record shows. They played some really good competition. So, you know, even though they have a 3-5 record like us, they're better than that. They have a good tailback. The Gilcher kid's a really talented player. The Walker kid at receiver, again, really talented. Those are two big playmakers that they have. They got a couple different quarterbacks that can give them different looks and bring different dimensions to their offense. So, you know, John Glenn is definitely going to come in here. They're going to play hard. They're going to fight with everything they've got to the last moment of the game, I'm sure of that. In order for us to beat them, first of all, we've got to take care of the football. We've got to sustain drives. We've got to do a great job of tackling. We've got to mix up our coverages a little bit, you know, and just play fundamentally sound, just each individual doing his job. And we figure if enough individuals are doing their job enough of the time that comes together as a full team effort, and got to be ready to play full 4 quarters. We've really had some battles with John Glenn over the last few years, and it's always a highly contested football game. So, you know, like the fact that we have them at home and late in the season. So, you know, just putting it all out there and giving maximum effort every chance that we get gives us the best chance to win the football game.
Well, Doug, that was head coach Dirk Lincecum of the Philo Electrics back-to-back with head coach Matt Edwards of the John Glenn Muskies. These two get set to do a battle in an MVL big school division rivalry matchup here in week 9. What do you think?
Nothing left to do but kick off.
I know, right? So we're literally just moments away from opening kickoff here at Sam Hatfield Stadium. Pair of 3 and 5 teams. Somebody's going to be one step closer to a potential playoff berth. Who will it be? We'll find out. Let's flip it down to field side here as the opening kickoff gets set. And Philo had won the opening toss, Doug, as we take a look down the field. And what a nice venue we have here, as you see down on the field over the shoulders from us, as Philo comes out wearing their blue jersey tops and white pants, white hats. Muskies all white, top to bottom, Doug.
I tell you what, I really appreciate Matt Edwards and his choice of uniforms because those numbers are so easy to see. So I'm going to enjoy that. I won't have to say that.
If you attended school in the state of Ohio, you may qualify to become a member of the Ohio Educational Credit Union. From elementary to high school, trade school through college, we're not just for teachers anymore. So come see us at the Ohio Educational Credit Union.
Find the car you want now. The truck you want now. The travel trailer you want now at ThinksQualityAutos.com. Find the performance you want now. Luxury you want now. Economy you want now at ThinksQualityAutos.com.
Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, even travel trailers. Get the vehicle you want for less at Thinks.
Find it now at Thinks or online at ThinksQualityAutos.com. Quick as a wink, deal with Thinks.
I think I'm going to go spook those guys at the CA house this Halloween. This place is awesome.
Stop in this week to get your bag of Halloween candy and prize ticket. Your prize ticket can be redeemed for future discounts. One lucky winner gets a $1,000 gift card to CA House Music.
Rock on! Play music for life and death.
Don and Sue started in 1972. It's been around a long time, just a good pizza. We want to keep it going. A lot of the families come in with their kids after the YMCA games, after North Catholic games, after North Wildcat games, scoreboards and all the old Volkswagens. And it's just a neat atmosphere here. The community bank has helped me so much with not even only this purchase. I started a relationship with Jim Holman there a couple years ago. He is in here all the time. He knew this would work, and that's why they weren't nervous at all to jump right in and give us a loan.
Do you have to ask your wife or husband to repeat everything she says or he says? Don't get mad. Call us at Norvell's Hearing Aid Center in Zanesville or Cambridge for a free hearing aid consultation.
Norvell's, helping save marriages for over 50 years.
This is the final home game for the Philo Electrics.
16 seniors, is that what we counted?
16 seniors is on the rosters. Now we flip it down to the field. Glad you could be a part of our game of the week, Week 9. Can't believe we're in mid-October, Week 9 already.
Week 9 in mid-October. I know, it's hard to fathom. Here we go.
And the Muskies will scoop up the opening kick at about the 14-yard line, run back out near the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Taking this one back is Christopher Weiss, a sophomore for John Glenn and Coach Edwards' team. Both teams, again, 3-5 coming in. Philo losers of 2 straight. John Glenn with a big momentum win in overtime over Riverview a week ago.
Well, Philo's played 2 pretty good teams in the last 2 weeks. What, Sheridan and Tri-Valley both?
Correct.
Yep. I mean, that's a tall task. That's something when you're the head football coach, you want to look at your AD and say, really? You couldn't get those guys a little farther apart? But that's just the way the schedule falls.
Yeah, this will be the first time we'll see John Glenn this year.
Right.
And then this is the 3rd time we've seen Philo. And just 2 weeks ago, we saw him get thumped by Sheridan back on September 30th in Thornville. Last week, they're coming off of a 28-6 loss at home to Tri-Valley right here. So back-to-back home games for these Electrics. First play is a run for John Glenn, and there is a mashing, mauling hit for no gain.
Oh, great start. Oh, yeah, that's the coach's kid.
Drew Lincecum, number 14 with the tag.
I recognize that tackling style from back in the day. He definitely inherited that.
So John Glenn on the first play, trying to run the ball right there with number 6.
Little zone blocking running play. Looked like, the outside zone running play, and Drew said, not this time.
Number 6 happens to be sophomore Ryder Rock. And he got rocked, carrying the rock. They go not back to rock, but they will run instead on that RPO. It's going to be a keeper by the quarterback for a couple up to the 33-yard line. I want to mention the quarterback is a junior, Noah Windland. Windland stands 6'1", 180 pounds. He threw the game-winning touchdown pass to senior wideout Nathan Walker in the victory over the Black Bears last week. And Windland has done an admirable job becoming the starting quarterback full-time for this Muskie team.
Well, that was the quarterback keeper all the way. The back was his lead blocker, and there was no option, no run pass at all. It was just, I'm going to take it off tackle. And he picked up about 3 yards, maybe just 2.
And so it will be 3rd down and 8. Looking to pass, rolling right, downfield, overshot his intended target at about the 43-yard line. Would have been good enough for a first down. Looking for Gates Thompson downfield.
I tell you who he should have been looking for was number 81, Caleb Larrick. Was wide open, and he's only 6'6". So if you can't see him, you're going to get some new glasses. He was wide open in the flat. Nobody covered him. He ran underneath the coverage, ran a straight diagonal route, and was wide open.
Well, the quarterback, Windland, off his first pass attempt for an incompletion. Again, full-time starter for the first time in his career here as a junior. He did start some games as a freshman due to some injuries the Muskies sustained a couple years ago. Here's the ensuing punt, fielded at the 30. Good downfield coverage, a late flag. Nope, that's actually just a marker where the return took place. Only about 5 or 6 yards on that run back where Philo will set up just over 90 seconds into this one.
Was a great job fielding that ball, but Cash Smith shut that return down after just a few yards. That could have been a big gain had Cash not been there.
So you go from one side of the field where Windland starting as a full-time starter as a junior for John Glenn to the other side for Philo. Again, this is our 3rd time seeing the Electrics. And over here, they're starting a sophomore quarterback, and he's done excellent when we've seen him. Won a game a month ago against West Muskingum, not so well against Sheridan, but who has done very well against Sheridan this year? Only Watkins. Here we go with a run play for Philo as they'll pound it forward into the interior front for a couple yards to about the 39, so just 2 on that first down play.
Just a straight quarterback dive right up the middle.
So I mentioned the sophomore quarterback. Who's that? Well, name is Talon Preston for the Electrics. He's 5'11", 170 pounds. And he'll come out and he can do a little bit of everything. He can run. Aside from pass, he'll be in the shotgun here on 2nd down and 8. 3 receivers, twins to the right. 1 lone back, Lincecum. Quick pass, slant, caught. First down, Electrics. Chugging forward, taking about a handful or half dozen Muskies to the 50-yard line.
Great timing. excellent pass blocking. But, when you're a defensive lineman, you really don't have a chance to make a sack on that play. About all you can do is try to knock it down, try to deflect it, because you're not going to get close to the quarterback.
6'2 senior Case Fink, 1 of 16 Philo Electrics on this roster, playing their final home game tonight, makes his first reception on the first Preston throw.
Only 5 seniors on the John Glenn squad.
Yeah, on the flip side of things, very young team for John Glenn. So expect them next year, if they don't make it into the postseason this year and that streak of 5 straight years gets closed off, to make a run at it again next season. But that is a year from now. Lincecum here on 1st down and 10 on the John Glenn side of the field at the 49, where they marked that pass completion to Fink for 13, no gain.
Some big guys on that defensive line for John Glenn. I'm looking at the nose man, number 68, Blandon Baker, 6'2", 280. And, Philo, they come back with that too. I mean, they have their nose man's 5'8", 300, so they have some big boys in the middle of both those defensive lines.
That's funny you mentioned Blandon Baker there, Doug. He picked off a deflected pass last week in Warsaw on 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line to secure the win at Don Cushing Stadium over the Black Bears as the Muskies won 2014 a week ago. Here's Lincecum. Check that. Number check on this run. That's not Lincecum. Instead, flying forward is Savage, I do believe, number 6. And he exploded on that play.
Little counter play. They faked the ball to one way, and he come back to the left. Some good blocking. He leaped over one of the defenders, and that's why I gave him the extra yardage. Nice block there by 44. Good leap. I'll tell you what, 4 down territory right now.
Zach Savage, another senior for Philo, trying to go out with a bang on their home field here tonight, ripping off a 1st down run to the 34 of John Glenn. Good for 15. Electrics on the move on their first offensive possession. Backs are split each side of Preston out of the gun. Quick pass left side, one-on-one coverage, and not catchable there. Knocked away. Good tight defensive coverage by Noah Winland.
Excellent timing. Perfect play on defense. No interference. Keeps his right hand off the guy. Knocks it down with his left hand. Those are the kind of passes that sophomores throw for touchdowns to the wrong guy.
Griffin Wells, another senior again for Philo. We keep saying seniors because it is senior night. Unable to catch that one. 2nd and 10 at the Muskie 34-yard line. Philo on the move. They'll hand it off to Lincecum. Lincecum looking to find some daylight, and it was tough running for him to get near the 30.
They made a nice cut. He faked to the inside and kept the thing to the outside, picked up maybe 4 yards. 3rd down, 6. Two different philosophies on offense. Philo huddles up every play. John Glenn doesn't huddle. I was always a huddle guy.
Yeah, and different days from John Glenn running wing tees under John Kelly.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
3rd and 6. This could be 4 down territory if Philo doesn't convert here. Out of the shotgun, Preston's going to swing it off for a dump pass. The screen to Lincecum is caught, and he bullies his way forward for that 1st down on the far side where he goes out of bounds where he was bumped, and the Electrics will continue the drive.
Well, there's this. Drew is such a sure-handed receiver. But look at the power he has. Fakes this guy out, and boom. He just runs over that poor guy.
And Lincecum picking up some steam literally with that left arm shoulder shiver.
Nice pass by Talon. He put it right on the money. That's not an easy throw.
Your replays brought to you by the Ohio Educational Credit Union. Here is Preston on a called quarterback run left side of the line. Not much cooking. Maybe a yard to about the 22-yard line. So very good positive here for Coach Dirk Lincecum and his team here at the outset. Defensively first with the stop, and now offensively moving down the field.
I'm waiting on the quarterback to ride the ball, into his ball carrier's belly and see if he keeps it or pulls it. Because right now, it's been predetermined handoffs pretty much all the way. Where the quarterback either takes a direct snap and runs off tackle, or he hands off without any fake. So that play is definitely set up. See what comes here on 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, they'll give Preston 2 on that to the 21. You have a man in motion for Philo from left to right. That's Cade Searles, and here we go with Lincecum. Hard running left side on a sweep play, and that's going to be close to a 1st down where he was knocked down. And so the Electrics and Lincecum continuing to impress here with the charge out of the gates.
Well, that matters. If you have more seniors than the other team and they only have 5 seniors, that means there's a lot of young kids playing defense. And seniors are, they're tough kids. They've played for a long time. Outstanding play.
And they do give Lincecum enough for a first down at the 12-yard line here, Doug. So 9 yards for Lincecum, and it's 1st and 10 near the 11, just outside the 11-yard line. So they can pick up a first down without a touchdown. And you're right, some good points here. Philo brings a lot of veteran leadership with 16 seniors, as we've mentioned. John Glenn Young with 5. And a timeout called now down on the field here, stopping action with just over 5:40 left to go here in our first quarter of a scoreless game so far here at Sam Hatfield Stadium. Other games on tap tonight, don't forget. We have Tri-Valley and Sheridan in D3 Region 11, which John Glenn is in, fighting for their playoff lives. They're playing a big one up in Dresden, to say the least. Big school division title on the line with that one. Both teams are 7-1 coming in. Both John Glenn and Philo have been getting steamrolled by those two opponents, although John Glenn has yet to play Tri-Valley till next week. So we will have tabs on that one throughout the night, and we will see Sheridan next week.
Well, that game, Tri-Valley Sheridan game, has determined league champions for many, many years around here.
Next week, I mentioned we will see Sheridan. We'll see them in Thornville back at home there when Tri-Valley tries to win this game tonight over them. However, New Lexington in a Perry County tussle will go at it in Week 10. So we're looking forward to Panther Generals next week. Here we go with Searles as we're coming out of the timeout. Look at this end around. It could be a touchdown, and it is for Searles. And Philo has struck first at 5:37 left to go in the opening frame.
I don't think Searles had any doubt where he was going to take that football. He hit it right for the pylon and never veered off that course at all. We see on the replay, it just looks like he's just going to say, you know, you're just going to have to outrun me because I'm going for the pylon.
What a play
Here
call.
I come. Yo, baby.
And nearly went untouched. Might have, actually, as he reached that pigskin over at the end for good measure near the pylon.
Good blocking at the perimeter on a play like that. No pursuit out there after him. Philo strikes first.
They go 63 yards marching down the field for the first points of the game. As punching it in there from 11 yards out was Cade Searles on that run.
Going for 2.
And they will go for 2 lining up here with a run play and the Muskies snuff it out. We do, and that will keep the score at 6-0. So interesting 2-point decision here by Coach Lincecum. Blake Linkus, we've called his name before. He scored a touchdown in the game of the week before this year, unable to get the 2-pointer.
Well, that was an interesting call after just outrunning the John Glenn defense on the perimeter so easily, then to go right up the middle where they really haven't gained great yardage. The one play to Savage gained some nice yardage. That was like a counter play. But their straight ahead runs have not picked up much, and that one did not either. And I think the ball even came out.
So while we have a change of possession here and after our first score of the game, we'll remind you this is the Community Bank Game of the Week. The Community Bank. Now's the perfect time to join the Go Local movement by banking locally with the Community Bank. Genesis Orthopedic Center, where better begins here. We'll have your Genesis player of the game mentioned when this one concludes. Williamson Insurance, the power of choice from top-rated national and regional insurance carriers. And Fink's Harley-Davidson, live to ride, ride to live. Fink's Quality Cars and RVs, quick as a wink. Deal with Fink and Fink's Easy Leasing and Rental as I continue to try to rattle these off without issues and memorization or something like that.
Completely amazing, Hank. That's all I got to say.
There is nothing scripted whatsoever.
Just totally memorized.
Back on the field here at Sam Hatfield with 5:37 left to go the first quarter. Very impressive drive. Philo goes 63 yards. We just saw that. And they did most of their damage literally on the ground.
Yes, they did. Oh, there's a strange kick.
Philo with a short squibber. And it's fielded by the upback at about the 29-yard line and then thrown down after a short gain of 4 on the return to the 33. Nearly the same field position where John Glenn started on their opening possession that went awry.
Nice tackle that time by Brian Hall for the Electrics. Yeah, that was I think that was looked like one of my drives on the golf course. You know, I'm always looking down the fairway, and it always lands over in somebody's yard.
You're not the only one.
And that's how that kick looked. I'm pretty sure that wasn't done on purpose.
Not by design. John Glenn will take over with okay field position after that kick at the 33-yard line. They're going to come out with split receivers and backs also split in the backfield, and Windland's going to hand this one off, and it's a minimal gain, if that, to the ball carrier, Ryder Rock. Rock got rocked the first time he got the ball in the first possession and not much doing on his second toe.
Well, Philo's lined up in a 3-5 defense. Their outside linebackers are walked up onto the line of scrimmage. They have a safety in the middle of the field, but they have 5 linebackers close to the line of scrimmage, if not on it. That's going to be some tough running. It looks to me like Matt Edwards is going to have to go to the passing game to try to loosen this defense up a little bit.
And so gain of 2, though, by Rock with his 4th possession before he was bulldozed from there. And it'll be at the 35-yard line. Same type of look again here. Receiver split, back split, and a tight end to the left. Here's a pass across the middle to the back, and that's Rock, and he'll tote it off that reception near that first down marker, maybe just short by about a yard or so. So there you see Winland now slipping it out of the backfield to Rock to try to get him going.
He just kind of let the receivers clear, and he kind of made a cut underneath, a little circle route, falls right on target, nice gain. They did get the first down, Hank.
So they will give it to him. Had to get to that 43-yard mark, and he did just that. So 8 yards for Rock on that reception across the middle of the field. 1st and 10 Muskies. They look to counter with a scoring drive on this possession. Their second of the night here in the quarter. And it's a run up the middle. And for about 3 yards this time as John Glenn moved that offense. As carrying it was number 27. So they will use a trio of backs with John Glenn. Lincoln Gilcher. He's just a sophomore at 5'8", 165 pounds, but he is a varsity letterman from last year.
I want you to know Drew Linscomb came to play tonight. I mean, he's been in almost every tackle if it's a running play.
2nd down, 7.
I would run at somebody else.
See if the Muskies continue to utilize their running backs, and they do not. They fake, and Winland decides to keep it, and he's just able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Well, he didn't fake out Mason Thomas. 6 foot, 240-pound defensive lineman. He was right on the spot.
And you'll see that replay right here. Look at this. Whoop. Not going to happen to Rock. He'll keep it instead and not fold, as you mentioned by that Philo defense. Now forces a 3rd down and long. Again, this is like a playoff game for both teams here. So you feel the intensity you'll pick up as this night will wear on. This is a big play for both teams.
Oh, no doubt about it. I can almost feel Drew Linscomb's heartbeat up here. I mean, he just looks to me like he is pumped up.
Man in motion for the Muskies from right to left. Looking to pass Winland. He's got all day long here. Now Linscomb comes late after him, and it's nearly intercepted as quite the read was done right there by Demetrius Strickland, one of those 16 seniors, and it was right in his grasp for an INT, but no.
Oh, man. I mean, that was 6 points right there. Philo only rushed 3 guys, so there's no real pressure on the quarterback. He rolls to his right and tries to get this ball in here, and Strickland read that thing perfectly. And
when he wish he had back.
You know, that's when a guy from our team would do that, I'd tell him that's why you play defense, because if you could catch, you'd be on offense.
Point well made, and Strickland unable to get that one. And here's a high snap. John Glenn's got to punt on 4th and 7. And
Fair
it's
catch.
A deep one. Fair caught cleanly just outside the 10-yard line. Backpedaling, making that catch was Griffin Wells, a 5'7" senior for Philo.
That's a heck of a play by that young man. That ball bounces. It might roll inside the 5-yard line.
42 yards on that punt. No return. Change of possession here. Just under 3 minutes left to go in our opening quarter of an electric 6-0 lead. You see at the bottom of the screen here on our Game of the Week in Week 9 next week. Week 10, again, can't say it enough. Going to have to remind you as well, New Lexington, Sheridan, you don't want to miss. Parents 7-1 teams going into action tonight. Tri-Valley and Sheridan going at it tonight. Currently 7-1 doing battle. And these two teams here on the field also equally matched record-wise. 3-5, as we said at the outset in the pregame briefly. And it's like a playoff game. Winner has a chance to really get in. The loser could really be eliminated. And here we go out of the gun. A first down handoff to Linscomb, and he chugs his way forward and barrels over yet another Muskie defender with ease to pick up good yardage.
I think that young man is ready to play. Give the ball to 14, Coach.
As Linscomb gets about 6 yards out to the 18 on that first down carry. And so he's done a lot of the damage here early for Philo. Savage sprinkled in a good run on their opening drive. And Searles had the touchdown from 11.
They're running the ball effectively, and that's going to be really important right now. I mean, they're inside their own 20-yard line. So they really don't want to make a mistake here with the ball in the air unless they see something that's really open.
Preston back to Linscomb, right side. And he gets maybe a yard up to about the 19. So the John Glenn defense much better, waiting for Lincecum that go round, forcing a third down defensive opportunity to get the ball back for the offense for John Glenn.
I don't think they gave him a foot. They shut that down well.
And that's a good mark. As you look at the replay, it looks like the elbow was down about the 18. And he just bounced forward for about a yard there, which is not going to count in the stat sheet. So no gain. Third down and a long 3.
You know, this is where you can drop back, and if your quarterback sees a seam, he can take it.
Let's see if they'll pass. Nope, they're going to run with Preston, and he's going to weasel his way forward close to that first down, and it looks like he's going to have enough. It depends upon that spot. And it looks like all indications are first down, move those sticks. And they do move the chains, although it was a little delayed there.
It was.
First down, Philo.
And they readjusted the football, and they moved it up another yard. I thought that was a little short there when they marked it the first time. Well, I thought they might, use a quarterback run, but I didn't think he was going to take off that quickly. I thought he might fake a throw and then take off. He saw a seam immediately and took it.
And we'll have a Tri-Valley Sheridan update here in just a moment as here's a handoff on first down and 10. New set of downs at the electric.
The ball's out.
First down. Yeah, Muskies indicate loose. Officials are saying down by contact. All 3 of them closer to the line of scrimmage say so. And so Philo will maintain possession. It's a scoreless battle at the end of 1 right now between Tri-Valley and Sheridan. Sheridan's defense came up with a big stop on a 4th down and 3 for Tri-Valley at the 11-yard line when it looked like the Scotties might take the lead in that one. We'll keep you up to date as we can throughout our contest.
This may well be the last play of the quarter unless it's an incomplete pass.
Second down and 8. Couple on that first down play. Here's a screen pass. Lincecum. Boy, what hands for Lincecum to catch that one. And he's held up by the ankles to keep him in check for no gain, as that will be your last play of our opening quarter here, Doug. But before we depart for a quick timeout, what a catch by Lincecum there despite no gain.
It was a great catch. It was a great tackle by Cameron Barnhouse.
Take one more look here as 1 quarter's in the books. Philo's out early here on senior night at Sam Hatfield Stadium by the score of 6-0 with the visiting John Glenn Muskies. John Glenn's won 3 in a row in this series. Philo looking to snap it. Back with quarter 2 on the game of the week after this.
You know, we started out as a dropout recovery school. A lot of charter schools, community schools, dropout recovery schools come and go. We've been able to maintain and grow. And other districts look at us as an avenue. We've morphed into having an elementary and middle school, and it's great to see students out in the community succeeding in life. It makes me very satisfied.
If you attended school in the state of Ohio, you may qualify to become a member of the Ohio Educational Credit Union. From elementary to high school, trade school through college, we're not just for teachers anymore. So come see us at the Ohio Educational Credit Union.
It's so sweet. It just makes the world a sweeter place, one chocolate at a time. Nothing but chocolate. We started in 2004. I want to not be the norm. I want to step it up. I want to be better than anything that they're used to. Lovely thing about the community bank is they know what you're kind of going through, so they are very supportive. As a business owner, the pressure of the world is on your shoulder every day. We get that support from the community bank.
When it comes to high school football, WHIZ-TV and Finks have you covered. Catch all the action on the Friday Night Blitz. Fridays at 11 right here on WHIZ-TV. Can't catch the news? Then just log on to WHIZnews.com for the Finks High School Scoreboard for a complete list of game scores and more. And when you're ready to hit the road, just click on FinksQualityAutos.com. Or for new and used Harley-Davidson motorcycles, visit FinksHD.com. Finks and WHIZ-TV, because local matters.
One of the benefits of being an independent agent, if your rate goes up at your renewal, we can shop it with other companies to keep your price and your costs down.
We've got over a dozen carriers here that we represent. We call that the power of choice.
We have the ability and flexibility to do what's best for you.
By directly representing several reputable insurance companies like Grange, we can put your interests first when insuring your auto, home, business, or life. Call Williamson Insurance Service, representing Grange Insurance in Zanesville, Newark, and Pataskala.
Start of the second quarter here on the WHIZ TV Game of the Week, the Community Bank Game of the Week. Here at Sam Hatfield Stadium, the host Philo Electrics up by 6-0 over the visiting John Glenn Muskies. They have the ball as we start the second quarter with a 3rd down and 7 at their own 25, and Talon Press on the sophomore back to pass, and it goes harmlessly incomplete over a shot intended receiver. So as with Doug Clifford, I'm Hank Huffman, and you just saw that play right there. Will mean Philo's going to have the point for the first time tonight, as they could not score on their second possession. Give credit where credit is due to the John Glenn defense to get it back.
Oh, they played a much better series that time. They stopped the running play. You know, we were talking about how good Drew Linscomb was running the ball, and in 2 consecutive tries, he gained about no yards on a carry and then maybe 1 yard on a pass. So they shut that down. The defensive line played extremely well that series.
So Philo will punt this one with Savage. And back at his own 45-yard line, looking to make some sort of return, but letting it go instead is the John Glenn return man, Nathan Walker. And it will be touched down by the Electrics at the 36-yard line. That'll go for a 39-yard punt, no return, as the John Glenn Muskies now will get the ball back for a 3rd time. Each team had the ball a couple times in the first quarter, and Philo here on the first play of the second. And Philo cashed in with their opening drive 63 yards down the field with an 11-yard touchdown run by Cade Searles.
I'm anxious to see if Coach Edwards comes out throwing the ball early in this series. Philo hasn't shown a blitz package yet. They've been rushing 3 men, and you can block 3 guys with 5. And we'll see what happens here in this series. But I think they're going to have to throw the ball to move it against this defense. Although Philo's defense has loosened up a little bit.
We'll talk about that defense here in just a moment. Here's maybe one of the best run plays for the Muskies tonight. And just taking would-be tacklers for a ride for a few more yards for about a 9-yard gain up to the 45-yard line was the ball carrier, number 27, Lincoln Gilcher. His second touch of the night is a good one.
Well, the defense loosened up a little bit. The linebackers kind of backed off and moved outside to cover receivers. And you have to respect a wide receiver. You have to put somebody on him. They moved the linebacker out and ran through that slot.
Well, last week in the loss, talking about the defensive efforts here so far, Philo pitching the shutout early on. John Glenn just held Philo 169 yards and 166 yards by these two offenses a week ago. However, John Glenn with just 169 yards was able to win the game in overtime at Riverview a week ago. Philo's 166 yards obviously wasn't a win in getting spanked by the Scotties.
Well, I saw this play where you're rattling off those amazing statistics, Hank. John Glenn ran a guy across the field. The defense changed their formation before he moved. He moved and no one covered him. He was wide open over here by himself, and the quarterback never even looked. I thought, there's the play, but it was designed to go somewhere else. And they missed an opportunity for a big play.
Fortunately for John Glenn, they have another chance to make amends. 3rd and short.
Yes, it is.
3rd and 1. Running down situation, one would think, and it is. And a big hole for Gilcher. He's got a first down over the Philo 50, and he'll get banged down finally at the 43-yard line of the Electrics as he explodes for a dozen.
I'll tell you what, Coach Edwards has done a great job at John Glenn in the time that he's been there. What did we say, 5 times in a row they've been to the playoffs? And he has an excellent grasp of this offense. And if he finds a weakness, he will exploit it. And then when you try to adjust, he will attack where you take your man away from. So he's a good young head football coach.
He's 47-38 overall. His first 2 years were losing seasons back in 2015 and 16. What a magical year 2017 was. Final 4 regional champions as they'll run back Gilcher here on 1st and 10 from the 43 for 4 more to the 39-yard line. And then part of this 5-year run, they went 7-4 in 2018, 9-3 in 2019. 2020 was a COVID-shortened season, so they technically had a losing record of 4-5, but they made it into the playoffs with expansion of 16 teams. Last year coming off a 7-4 year, which included a win over Union Local before the comeback Colts of Meadowbrook stole one from them in the playoffs, a game that you're familiar with.
Well, John Glenn Graduates, that's probably hurt you for the rest of your life, won't it? But yeah, they had that game, and I thought sure they were going to win it.
Yeah, I haven't tooted my horn here coming in tonight because I remember that one. Being a John Glenn alum, here's a pass downfield, caught, and it's knocked free, but Walker's able to maintain possession. Stud receiver Nathan Walker making the catch, but then having it knocked out. But fortunately, Johnny on the spot. In this case, Nathan on the spot.
Well, they had linebackers blitzing on that play, and they were picked up, and the quarterback stayed in the pocket and did a nice job.
You'll see this. A nice, precise pass in traffic, and then Walker had it poked free.
You know, I bet if that was an NFL game, they'd run that replay back about, like 14 minutes. Then they'd send it off to the United States Senate to make a decision on it, and I bet they would have called that incomplete.
It was a bang-bang play.
Yeah.
Yep. Walker secured it, took a football move down on the field here for that catch and fumble. John Glenn with the first down, moving the chains, and the recovery at the 32 of Philo on the move downfield with another pass complete, and inside the red zone to about the 17, maybe the 16, depending upon the spot. So the Muskies with penetration, Gates Thompson, junior wideout, snaring that one.
Well, you have your safety deep in the middle of the field, and they're throwing the ball underneath the safety and over the linebackers' heads. And with three linebackers in the middle, you would think they'd be back there, but they're not making the play.
And so gain of 16 for Thompson, down to the 16. Muskies on the move, looking to tie it up. They could take the lead with a PAT try. Here's Gilcher getting the call again. Flag comes flying in immediately after this one got started for a short run. See if that'll stand instead. It will not. Hold indication, a quick one.
First flag of the night.
Yeah, we have had a very clean first half played until now. Unlike some others we've seen on the game of the week early on in the season, to be expected. And that will hurt John Glenn and push them back as they're looking to score. And look out there, the flag came really flying at the official.
I mean, yeah, I think somebody threw the flag a little briskly there.
On a brisk night here tonight. We had a lot of winds kick up on this Friday night in mid-October. As temperatures have maintained the same for us in the last several Fridays in that upper 50s, dipping down to below 50 by the end of the game.
Philo is running different players in, trying to find a combination that can stop the run and put pressure on the quarterback. This looks like their pass rush package in here now.
Looking to pass.
Oh, nice call.
Shooting it down is Jake Johnson, and it's caught down to the 15-yard line. So that got the penalty yards back +1 as Gilcher getting really involved, this time as a pass catcher.
This is a nice call. A little underneath screen right there. Just kind of run underneath everybody and get the ball to your good back in space and let him go.
So, yeah, make a note of it out there. Throwing that pass was 15, Jake Johnson for the Muskies. As Winland on there again, and you'll have Gilcher lined up behind him. 3 receivers, 2 to the right. John Glenn facing a 2nd down and 9. They can pick up a first down at about the 6 of Philo. Here it goes with Winland. Winland didn't get much, though, on that 2nd and long. It's going to force a 3rd and long for John Glenn.
Well, we may see the how good the place kicker is here in about one more play, unless they can get a first down.
And so 3rd down, and we'll call it 8. 1-yard pickup for the Muskies. Down 6-0 you see near the midway point here of the second quarter as intermission looms around the corner.
And I'm looking for number 81. I don't think he's on the field. He's not. He's a big target that's sitting over on the sideline somewhere.
Gilcher in the backfield as well as Rock. And it's going to go to Rock. He's got lead blockers left side, and he crashes down to about the 10-yard line where Philo meets him with some heavy resistance to prevent a first down run.
Interesting call not to throw the ball there on 3rd and long. Picked up some good yardage. Not enough for the first down. What's the decision going to be here? I don't see the kicking team coming out yet. It looks like they're going to go for this unless they call a timeout.
Coach Matt Edwards in his 8th year. He's 3-4 against Philo. Lost first 4 decisions from 2015 to 2018. Now he's come back, winners of 3 straight in this series with the Electrics, winning in 2019, 2020, and last year 20-14 as the defense for the Muskies won last year's game in New Concord by forcing 4 Philo turnovers in that game.
Well, I don't see a play coming in. It looks like they're going to call timeout. Think about this, maybe kick the ball.
So a TO called on the field, as you mentioned. Just under 6 minutes left to go until halftime. Northside Pharmacy and Northside Oxygen and Medical Equipment. Northside, your pharmacy for life. Norvell's Hearing Aid Centers in Zanesville and Cambridge, always here for you. So am I, Doug. Foxfire Schools, free public alternative education serving students grades K through 12. Kokona's Furniture and Mattress First, always making it easier for you to furnish your home. City Tire Pros, serving our community since 1953. When you think tires, think City Tire Pros, and I will stop my winded self right now with Denny's Classic Diner, America's favorite diner in Zanesville and Cambridge, and maybe it's yours as well.
Well, I'll throw in a happy anniversary to my daughter Stacy and her husband Rudy, and happy birthday to both of them tomorrow. They're born on the same day.
Well, yeah, happy birthday. Congratulations.
There you go.
So, yeah, hey, every time you can celebrate that, it's a good year.
Maybe one of the first times in my entire life I remembered somebody's birthday ahead of time.
I have a cat's birthday next week, by the way.
Well, there you go.
I'm just saying. 6-0 here, Philo. As John Glenn looks to threaten for the tie.
They're going to go for it. They're going to go for the first down here, if not the score.
Backs are split, receivers split here on this fourth down call coming for Coach Edwards' John Glenn team. And looking to pass for it. Left side and in traffic, and it's high and overthrown. Would have been enough for a first down had the catch been more on the mark.
That looked like, is that Talon Preston on the coverage?
Kobe Shade, the intended receiver for John Glenn, first time called his name, and it was who you just said over there on the coverage, Preston, with tight coverage and laying the lumber on the intended target, Shade.
Good stand by the Philo defense. That was by far John Glenn's best offensive effort of the night, and they're going to come away with no points.
So Muskies turned away. Still 6-0 remains a score in front of the Electrics here at the 5:45 mark of the second quarter. They'll come out, poor field position with Philo, but their defense did the task. And they will run here on first down, and maybe no gain actually on that. So John Glenn's defense was bending and breaking early, but they're starting to tighten it up here as this game's worn along.
Well, they really shut down the running game for Philo here in the second quarter. I mean, it looked to me like in the first quarter, Philo was going to have about 3 guys with 100 yards apiece, and John Glenn has put the clamps on that idea.
Yeah, no gain as the ball remained at the 10-yard line, clock ticking. Both teams each have 2 timeouts remaining. In case you're wondering about that, as we wind things down here in your opening half at Sam Hatfield Stadium. Philo will run again up the middle, and not much again, as a lot of John Glenn hats there to meet the ball carrier.
Well, there was. I mean, it just looked like a wall of white right there, all those jerseys with their backs to us.
That's going to mean 3rd down and 9. So the Muskies do a stand here defensively to get the ball back. They don't have enough time for their offense to try to get that score that they thought they were going to get to tie things up a chance.
There's no doubt about that. You know, they may call a timeout after this play. I mean, we're working our way down to the 4-minute mark.
Playoff aspirations for both teams. 6-0 here, Philo, 3rd down long, back to pass Preston, looking left, look to the 2nd and 3rd read, now decides to run because nothing was open, and he gets hit a few times, but still unable to pick up the first down as he was able to get some sort of positive yardage. They're actually going to have to kick this one away.
Well, that had sack written all over it. There's a lot of pressure on him that time. See how many, I see this guy, there's no holding, good blocking there. He just kind of stepped up into the pocket, and that's where they were.
So John Glenn does the job defensively for a second straight possession. This one a 3 and out. And Philo backed up in their own territory will have to kick it away as Walker waits back at his own, at the Philo 42 on this side of the field from a savage punt. It's a short one. It hits at about the 36 and will go straight up in the air and be down right about there at the 37-yard line.
Well, you know, like you said, Hank, John Glenn didn't score in their last offensive possession. They went all the way down the field and got stopped. But they are right now winning the field position game, and they're going to start right now with their best field position of the night.
24-yard punt, no return. We've seen several punts in this first half with no returns whatsoever.
That's the second time the punt coverage team has outrun the punt. The ball's bouncing behind the cover guys, so they're not getting great distance on their punts whatsoever. And that time it just bounced straight up. It didn't get a favorable bounce for the Electrics. So, 37-yard line, 1st and 10? 3:37 left to go.
Plenty of time and great field position for John Glenn here. And coming out in the shotgun formation is Jake Johnson. Johnson has two electrics coming right at him, and he finds Walker there just hanging out. And there goes Walker using his feet and blocking downfield for an easy first down for John Glenn outside the red zone for about 15 yards or so on this play.
Boy, that was a great read by the young quarterback. I mean, he was in a world of hurt there.
Your safety
Here
valve,
they come. Man, you bet. Big number 78 out there. That's a luxury most receivers don't have a 78 lead blocker. Nice job, nice hustle that time by Jake DiMatteo.
And so Walker picks up 15 on that one. 22-yard line of the Electrics, 1st and 10 Muskies. Man in motion is Gates Thompson. And moving forward, and look at the pile continuing to grind away with some strength inside the 15 on this first down play.
I mean, he was hit. It should have been maybe a gain of 3. Instead, it's a gain of 8, maybe 9.
And Gilcher, the ball carrier, a sophomore, only 5'8", 165.
Getting a good push. The offensive line.
Put those shoulders down, kept driving those legs, and got help.
I saw that. I mean, that should be a training film for all running backs. Keep your legs moving. Man, oh, man.
That was a good one. As you see plenty of replays here, brought to you again by the Ohio Education Credit Union.
You know, if these guys push us in the end zone and kick an extra point and take the lead, they're going to go into halftime with the lead after being outplayed most of this first half.
We have whistles and a timeout called by Coach Edwards and John Glenn, and you're right. Philo has done the job the majority of the first half, but as this second quarter has worn on, John Glenn has flipped the momentum and turned the tide.
Yes, they have, especially on the defensive side. I think, they've had a couple of 3-and-outs now. They've stopped that running game for Philo. Philo's running attack was just eating them alive, and now it's non-existent all of a sudden.
And so stay tuned. We're just a few minutes away from halftime, and our halftime show will be presented by CA House Music. Play music for life. And a reminder, next week, Week 10, regular season finale, New Lexington Panthers at the Sheridan Generals. You and I called Sheridan beating these Philo Electrics a couple weeks ago in Thornville 35-6. I had missed the New Lexington game back in Week 2 when New Lexington beat Maysville and Battle Panthers in a 20-point win.
Yep.
Hunter Rose is quite a running back for New Lexington, and you're going to hear his name a lot next week. Looking forward to this one.
It looks like Hunter Rose is allergic to tackles. Because, I mean, the first guy hits him, doesn't even make an impression. So that'll be a good game.
Oh, that'll be a great one. That's next week on tap. Back here from the timeout here in Week 9. Regular season finale, home finale for the Philo Electrics. John Glenn threatening, looking for a tie or take the lead. And it's going to be a second down, a short keeper play, and it's going to be a 1st and goal for John Glenn as they get inside the 10-yard line on that run.
I mean, they definitely went for the first down. 74 is pulling around, lead blocking through the hole. Nice job. Nick Zanders.
Noah Winland, the junior quarterback, running that one for a first down as we're under 2 minutes left to go here. John Glenn with 1 timeout left in their back pocket. Philo has 2 if they happen to get the ball back and would happen to want to use some of those timeouts if they do. John Glenn in no hurry using this clock as we wind down this second quarter in this first half. Back shift, Winland going to keep.
Play.
Winland jitterbugging inside the 5, and he gets down to near the 3.
The play worked the last time. It should work again.
That'll keep the clock moving. Under 90 seconds you see left to go in the half.
You know, the advantage of that kind of a play is you don't have to worry about a bad handoff. You don't have to worry about a bad exchange. Quarterback gets a snap, runs straight ahead. Timeout Electrics.
Yeah, Philo will take this one with actually 1:25 left to go here in our first half. And what looks like a defensive battle. 6-0, because it is on the scoreboard. With the Electrics up, John Glenn trying to get off the schneid. Both teams struggled a week ago offensively moving the football. John Glenn, however, won the game over Riverview in overtime. They've alternated wins and losses, have the Muskies to get to 3-5 after an 0-3 start. Daunting regular season schedule to start the season, losing to 3 teams that were 7-1 out of the chute. You're talking Fort Fry, Bloom Carroll, New Lexington. Hey, one of their other losses was also to Sheridan, also 7-1.
You know, records can be really misleading. They're 3-5. They're well below 500. Like you said, they lost their first 3 games, and those 3 teams are now 7-1. Probably all of them playing for league championships. All of them in the playoffs, probably clinched. So, that's just, and now you have a team with 5 seniors. It's just how things happen every now and then.
And John Glenn's other loss was just a few weeks ago, a 5-point defeat, and they lost in the waning moments trying to come back to beat 4-4 in Maysville, but the Panthers hung on to win that one. So John Glenn yet to lose, to a losing team record-wise this year. Philo's 3-5 coming in. They want to avoid that here tonight. Back from the timeout called by the Electrics. They're going to go with a run with John Glenn on second down and goal, and banged is Gilcher.
Nice tackle.
Gilcher's been running very fluently and effectively here in this first half as it's picked up. Not that time. As you will see once again.
That's Mr. Right Savage on that tackle. Nice hit. That's a form tackle.
Form tackle right to the midsection, forcing a timeout now, this time called again by Philo. They want to burn their last timeout. They're trying to save some of that clock. There's 1:16 left to go here in the half. You're up 6-0, but now for the Muskies, it's third down and goal at the 3. Well, Philo holds them. John Glenn's has to make a decision. Do you try to go for the touchdown? Do you try to kick a chippy field goal?
Well, they passed on the field goal last time, but I don't think Philo is nearly as concerned with what they're going to do offensively if they hold him. They want to make sure they have the exact right defense out there because this team has some offensive weapons, and they've run a variety of pass plays. They've hit different receivers. They've run the ball effectively. So you want your defensive personnel to be completely aware of what the situation is. This is situation football right here. This has nothing to do with anything other than the very situation you're in. Goal line defense.
We'll see if 13th year head man Dirk Lincecum dialed up the right defensive play against this John Glenn offense on third down and goal. Ball from the 3. It's Winland out of the gun, and he's going to take it around the right end and dive in for the touchdown. And there it is. John Glenn has knotted the score up with 1:12 left to go in our opening half here at Sam Hatfield Stadium and a chance to take the lead on the extra point.
Interesting call. Winland has run up the middle almost every time. I think it's the first time I've seen him really run outside the tackles, and it caught the Philo defense completely by surprise.
So Noah Winland, junior quarterback, starting quarterback for the Muskies this season all year long, runs it in 3 yards out, third and goal, touchdown scamper. Round that right in to tie things up at 6, and John Glenn will try to kick this one up and in with the extra point try from Evan Rector, number 18 sophomore here as he waits to snap in the hold.
This is going to be interesting for me. Boom. Oh, yeah.
Plenty of leg there, Doug.
Plenty of leg. That could be a big factor in this game with a 1-point lead as of right now.
Right down the middle, and it is 7-6. John Glenn has taken the lead, as Philo will have one more crack at things here offensively without a timeout in the final minute plus. But John Glenn has really flipped it around. It was a Philo first quarter and really been a John Glenn second quarter.
A tale of 2 quarters.
Yes, it has been. Not 2 halves.
That's right.
As you typically hear. Well, meanwhile, you have a update in the Sheridan Tri-Valley game, and Sheridan has struck first. They are up over Tri-Valley 7-0. A 7-yard touchdown pass from Caden Sheridan to Drew Boyer. We'll see those Generals next week at home in Thornville against New Lex. So a biggie, to say the least, up there in Dresden between those two 7-1 powers. Between these 3 and 5 schools looking to try to get into the playoffs with those aspirations, expect nothing less. A 1-point game doesn't get any closer than this.
No, it does not. You just never know when you make a call as a coach, where it's going to take your team. They didn't go for the extra point kick for Philo. They went for 2 and didn't even get close. And now, after outplaying John Glenn by a large margin in the first quarter, their offense has just gone away. Philo's offense has just been held in check completely. And John Glenn has, marched up and down the field 2 times, and finally they get a touchdown.
And you find yourselves down on the scoreboard by a digit. Here comes the ensuing kickoff run back. It's going to be great field position for the Electrics on this. Out to the 44-yard line. That gets the home crowd here in Duncan Falls on their feet and gives them a chance at some scoring potentially in the final buck.
But they burned all their timeouts on defense. So their offense has, 1:04 and no timeouts. So we'll see if Coach Lincecum wants to turn his sophomore quarterback loose and see if they can make a big play here. they may run it on first down and see what they get. They pick up 10 or 15 yards. Well, then they can, okay, now we're in position to throw the ball a little bit.
It was Case Fink on the run back for Philo. They're about 16 yards as he fielded at the 28 back to the 44. Out of the gun, here comes Preston. 3 receivers at his disposal.
Right away.
And he's going to, Doug, run for this one. He gets tackled down low. Only a 2-yard gain. Excellent play by John Glenn.
Cameron Barnhouse, not only was that a good tackle, it was a great tackle because he kept the ball carrier in bounds.
Clock chewing, under 45 seconds left to go in the half. Philo quickly out of the gun again to pass. This is a screen towards Lincecum, deflected and knocked down to the turf, and that actually might benefit Philo, at least momentarily.
Well, it's going to benefit Philo greatly because if the ball hadn't been knocked down, I think number 10 in that white shirt out there was going to catch it and go the other direction.
You're talking about?
He had that thing read all the way, Nathan Walker.
Oh, and he's a special player. Walker he's one of 5 seniors, been a part of the postseason playoffs each and every year that he has been a member.
Well, that was a senior play, no doubt about it.
Forces a 3rd down and 8 for Philo. Got to get over to the John Glenn 46, chucking it downfield. Searles, and did he keep him in? I think he did get a foot in.
He got a foot in for sure. Did he hold on to the ball? Oh,
and
baby.
He did. What a catch.
Big time catch.
To the 27 of John Glenn. Stops the clock with 35 seconds left. Take another look at things. Beautiful play here, Preston to Searles.
Pressure right in his face. Oh, what a catch. 1 foot down. Mark it.
And so Philo on the move. Gain of 27 yards on that connection. They'll go back to a pass. This is Fink, middle of the field. Clock running, not a first down. 18-yard line, short by about a yard.
If they clock it or run a play. They're going to run a play.
Tick, 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 tick. They're going to pass it to the right. Short side of the field, incomplete. And nearly reading that one was Barnhouse. You called his name moments ago for the Muskies.
Well, he's a smart football player. There's no doubt about it. 19 seconds to go. 3rd down. Oh, baby.
Just need a yard here on 3rd to Philo.
That yard is inconsequential because it means nothing. What they need to do is somehow advance the ball and kill the clock. If they don't, if having a complete pass, that's fine too.
And they're going to pass it. It's caught, and it's a sideline route. That's a catch and out of bounds. So that's a double whammy against that John Glenn defense there, and a good one for the Electrics.
Nice job. 44, Drew Wright on the catch.
So Drew Wright, a 6'2", 210-pound junior tight end, with his first catch of the evening, will help move the chains. Clock stop, more importantly, as well, with 14 seconds left. Philo at the 14.
I wonder if Philo even has a kicker tonight.
Let's see if they go to the end
out.
zone. They're looking to 14. Lentz to come out of the backfield, and he got stuck by Barnhouse. Incomplete, trying to do the running back screen.
Nice play. Ball's incomplete. Drew Lincecum got nailed by Barnhouse. So he knows every time he's going to go out in that flat, Barnhouse or somebody's going to be out there waiting on him.
Well, Doug, you're looking at 2nd and 10. You can pick up first down at the 4, but again, inconsequential. There's that word you just mentioned. You're looking for 6 here, or you might have to try a field goal. Looking to pass without a timeout, Preston. He does. Lincecum, he's going to have to find the sidelines. They're finding the end zone. He's going to find 6. Pay dirt. Touchdown as he found yellow paint.
I saw Lincecum have a little conversation with Barnhouse after the last play, like, I'll be back. And he was. That time he beat the exact man who nailed him on the previous play.
14 yards it goes in the books. Preston to Lincecum. It was all Lincecum after he made the move. He found daylight and nobody in front of him but the end zone for the touchdown.
So now I think you're in a situation where you have to go for 2.
12-7. The Electrics jump back on top of things. And with just 3 seconds left in the half, like you said, Doug, to try to make up for the missed extra point. It turned out to be a missed 2-point conversion the first time. They'll try to get it back.
Okay, here we go. 3 wide out here on the right side. 3 wide out split to the right.
And Preston.
And they're going to run it.
And he give it to who just scored, Lincecum. Coach's son couldn't quite get in for that 2-pointer on top of things. So he does get the 6 with the touchdown as Lincecum, unable to get the 2-point conversion run. And Philo takes the lead back in a seesaw affair all of a sudden, scoring, picking up with the excitement of this one.
Well, it's a good job by the John Glenn defense. Philo came out with 3 wide receivers split to the right. I mean, that's an obvious passing formation. They did not go for it. Interior defensive people stayed home, played their position, stopped Lincecum well short of the 2-point conversion.
It didn't take Philo long. Remember, John Glenn just took the lead with a minute 12 left to go here in this half. And with the extra point up 7-6, do the math there. Minute 9 seconds is all Philo needed with the kickoff to go downfield to score 56 yards on that drive.
Quite a performance by Talon Preston to put that ball in the money so many different times. Great catch by Searles on the sideline. I mean, that's the key play of the whole drive. And they just stayed patient. They threw the ball out to Lincecum the first time, and he got nailed, and the ball was incomplete. He came back with the same play, and it worked great. He went in for the touchdown. So sometimes coaches, just do the same thing.
Well, John Glenn coach Matt Edwards has got to be probably beside himself right now as Philo
no
went
doubt.
down their throats like that without a timeout to get the score, made big pass plays and conversions when they need to. You mentioned that play by Strohs on the sidelines. That was a 3rd and 8 for 27 on the sidelines.
It was. I mean, that drive by Philo has kept John Glenn from going into the locker room at halftime with momentum and feeling really good about their chances. And now they give up a touchdown in the last minute of the half, and they're down.
And if you played better defensive coverage there on that play that Lincecum for the touchdown, you drop him down in the field of play, half comes to an end, you're probably up a digit at the half.
Exactly.
But it's not. But we have reached the half here on the Community Bank Game of the Week on WHIZ Television. Here at Sam Hatfield Stadium in Philo, the home Philo Electrics, leading the visiting John Glenn Muskies by the count of 12-7 between these pair of 3 and 5 teams with playoff aspirations. So we're kicking off the halftime show with Doug and I. Going to send it to a commercial break and the CA House Music halftime entertainment, the bands of these two schools before we come back for an exciting second half, hopefully to be here at Philo.
I'm in search of pizza.
If you attended school in the state of Ohio, you may qualify to become a member of the Ohio Educational Credit Union. From elementary to high school, trade school through college, we're not just for teachers anymore. So come see us at the Ohio Educational Credit Union.
You don't have to be a full-time athlete to experience muscle, joint, or ligament issues. Injuries happen every day. Fortunately, the sports medicine team at Genesis is here to help. With expertise across a variety of musculoskeletal injuries and procedures, the latest technology in an office setting, and all the support of Genesis Healthcare System, we'll help you get back to whatever is most important in your life. Better begins here. Start your path to better at genesishcs.org.
When it comes to your health and well-being, everyone can use a helping hand. That's why Northside Pharmacy goes the extra mile to safeguard your health and wellness. From advice on proper use of your medications to keeping our community safe, we've got you covered. Day or night. Northside, your pharmacy for life.
When it comes to high school football, WHIZ-TV and Finks have you covered. Catch all the action on the Friday Night Blitz. Fridays at 11 right here on WHIZ-TV. Can't catch the news? Then just log on to WHIZnews.com for the Finks High School Scoreboard for a complete list of game scores and more. And when you're ready to hit the road, just click on FinksQualityAutos.com. Or for new and used Harley-Davidson motorcycles, visit FinksHD.com. Finks and WHIZ-TV, because local matters.
Buckeye Apparel is a local screen printing embroidery shop. My brother and I started in my parents' basement. We started with the apparel, and then it led to our Mark of Valor, which is our motorsports themed apparel. Then it led into our locality store. As soon as I met with the community bank, I could tell that they cared about what I had going on, the projects, the business that I had going on. If you shop local, choose local, and bank local, it keeps your money back in your own pocket.
participation and contributions throughout this season in their entire band career. Our first senior is Julian William Patrick Boylan. Julian is being escorted by his father Drew Boylan and his stepmother Allison Boylan. Julian is a member of the quiz team, concert band, jazz band, marching band, pep club, cross-country team, bolt, and key club. After high school, Julian plans to attend college as a major in English. Please welcome to the field, Theron Mikhail Chevalier. Theo is being escorted by his parents, Scott and Stacy Chevalier. In addition to being field commander of the marching band, Theo is also a member of the concert band and the jazz band. Theo's additional activities include student council, theater, vocal ensemble, Handel's Messiah, and National Honor Society. Following high school, Theo would like to attend college, majoring in music education and biology. Now taking the field is Parker Brian Loomis. Parker is being escorted by his parents Trish and Tim Loomis. Parker studies CNET at Mideast Vocational School and teaches Taekwondo. After high school, Parker plans to join the military and become an avionics technician. Our final senior is Lope Lum Scott. Lope is being escorted by his mother Lon Lee and his father Craig Scott. Lope participates in marching band, concert band, jazz band, pep band, vocal ensemble, and quiz team. Lope is also vice president of the National Honor Society. Outside of school, Lope is involved in community theater, and he is the treasurer of the Muskingum County Community Youth Foundation. After high school, Lope plans to attend the Ohio State University and earn a degree in music education. The band would like to express its appreciation to these seniors for all of their effort and dedication to the Philo Marching Band. Please give them all a well-deserved round of applause. This evening, the band will perform a senior night tradition, Script Philo, with senior Lope Scott dotting the I. So get on your feet, Philo fans, and get ready for the Philo High School fight song. Mr. Brightside.
1, 2, 1, 2, ready.
We would like to congratulate the John Glenn Marching Band on an excellent performance this evening. The PHS Marching Band will be performing their competition show at Meadowbrook tomorrow, Saturday, October 15th at 5 p.m. Please come out and support the band.
So, what do you think?
We're prepared to offer cash.
When you get great deals at Denny's,
$5.99.
You'll start to expect great deals everywhere. New all-day diner deals starting at $5.99. 10 delicious meals, only at Denny's.
When it comes to your health and well-being, everyone can use a helping hand. That's why Northside Pharmacy goes the extra mile to safeguard your health and wellness. From advice on proper use of your medications to keeping our community safe, we've got you covered. Day or night. Northside, your pharmacy for life.
It's our turn to say thank you and your time to save during the Customer Appreciation Sale at Kokona's Furniture and Mattress First. We went to our vendors and asked for special discounts, and we're passing the savings on to you. Get up to 6 years 0% APR with our sale price, or pay with cash check or credit card and save up to 20%. Plus, get a $95 gift card to help celebrate our 95-year anniversary. Even get free delivery and set up with our gold purchase plan. Enjoy these great savings as we say thank you during the Customer Appreciation Sale at all 4 Kokona's Mattress First locations.
Storied Rivals started as a production company and it grew into a media company with our main focus in capturing unbelievable moments for families, kids, communities, teams, and schools. The financing Community Bank was able to provide us changed our business and allowed us to get to the next step. The Community Bank is trying to grow the community, and by backing us and our mission and then what we're providing for the community, they see that as a win-win. No matter what happens, they'll always be my first call.
Grandchildren say some of the cutest things.
Don't miss out on any of them just because you can't hear.
Call us at Norvell's for a free hearing aid consultation.
Because when it comes to your grandchildren, you don't want to miss a thing.
Norvell's Hearing Aid Center, we're always here for you.
At Denny's, we're open to being extra by bringing all your favorite fall flavors together. With sweet pecan sauce and real pumpkin mash, you'll fall for this breakfast. Social Stars influenced.
It's good.
Extra good. So pumpkin pancakes. Only at Denny's.
Back here at Philo High School, the Community Bank Game of the Week here on WHIZ TV. I'm Hank Kaufman, Doug Clifford. We got a good one between a pair of 3 and 5 MVL Big School Division teams here at Philo at senior night. It's 12-7. Electrics lead it. Let's roll into the first half highlights, Doug. Philo got it going early here.
As Cyril's on around the end, I mean, he's untouched, about 10 or 12 yards for the first touchdown of the night.
That was from 11 yards out. That capped off an opening drive of 63 yards for that Philo score. They went for 2, didn't get it. 6-0 though, Electrics with 5:37 left to go in the first quarter. We turn to the Tide over to the second quarter, late stages second here, and the Muskies would counter back just before halftime. Trust me, Noah Windland, this junior quarterback for the Muskies, will run it in from 3 yards out. It was on a 3rd down and goal play after a timeout called right before the half. The extra point was kicked this time by John Glenn to take the lead by 7-6. They worked with a short field of 37 yards for that score.
Great block that time by Larry on the perimeter. Nobody touched him.
Oh, and right before the half, Philo dials up a play here to Lincecum from Preston, and from 14 yards out, it was good for Lincecum and the Electrics for number 14. That gave them the lead back, just 3 seconds left to go in the half. They went for 2, missed again, but the Electrics rode the momentum there at the very end of the first half, going down the field 56 yards for the score, getting back the John Glenn score that happened just right before that.
Well, I was really stunned that their offense looked that good there at the end of the half, because John Glenn has shut Philo's offense completely down in the second quarter. I mean, there was basically no production at all from the Philo offense. And then with just a little over a minute to go and no timeouts, they went down the field. You know, the key play was the pass to Searles on the sideline. Great one-handed catch there, kept 1 foot in bounds. And then the play that Lincecum scored on the previous play, they tried it, and he'd been nailed by, I think, Barnhouse made the hit on him, incomplete pass. And we saw Drew have a little discussion with Barnhouse, and the next play came back with the same thing, and they went for a touchdown.
Yeah, where you mentioned Searles, big reception he had. It was a 3rd and 8 for 27 yards as Philo tried to move it down the field, and it looked like they might have to punt it away, but that was a big conversion, and they were able to cash in, like you said, with that Lincecum score, and it was from 14 yards out on the screen play from Preston, literally right before the half, and that's where we stand here at 12-7, Philo's lead. Philo's going to get the ball first to start the second half because they deferred the opening kick.
This is the best method or whatever you want to say, best outcome for a team that defers the opening kickoff. You get the ball back after you've scored at the end of the half. You have a chance to go up 2 scores. Look out!
And there it could be a burst to burst the bubble. Nearly taking that one to the house is Seth Henning for Philo. Henning, a junior. Take a look at the wheels here. Knew what to do with it right away as he sprinted forward out near midfield, and Philo's going to be setting up with great field position.
Well, there's some guys he caught flat-footed. They didn't take a very good angle. They didn't anticipate his speed. He nearly broke that. But even though he didn't score, look where they're starting from. I mean, they're starting up their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10. Have a chance to make this game a 2-score game here to start the second half.
So here we go. The Electrics up 5. Playoff aspirations for both teams despite 3-5 records. And here's a nice first down run to start things off by Preston over to the John Glenn 44-yard line. He may be actually just inches short, so maybe a little premature, but good run nonetheless.
Oh, no doubt about it. Right off tackle, good lead block coming around. Good foot, good speed. Just motored that thing up there. Nice job.
So the Electrics already in Muskie territory, opening 30 seconds and counting here in the third quarter, just underway in the second half on senior night, parents' night, Philo High School at Sam Hatfield Stadium. Muskies have won 3 straight over Philo in the series. The Electrics will go to Lincecum for a short gain, good enough for a first down, as he will pick up a yard when they needed inches. Lincecum with that 14-yard touchdown right before the half. Always a key part of this Philo offense.
Well, they haven't moved the chains yet. There they go.
And so the first down sticks do finally move. The Electrics will set up with a fresh set of downs. Already a minute elapsed here in this third quarter.
Yeah, the run back to start the second half has them in 4-down territory after 2 plays.
Lincecum again in the backfield to the right of Preston. He will get it. And there goes Lincecum around the end, still on his feet. And on the far sideline, gets near the 35. So 7 or 8 yard burst on this play.
I'm going to give Drew a little nudge in the weight room right there. Someone tried to tackle him up around his shoulders, and he was having none of it, and he just powered through it.
It'll set up a 2nd down and 2, so 8 yards for Lincecum to the 35-yard line. Mentioned John Glenn's won 3 straight in the series. Dirk Lincecum, the coach of the Electrics, 8-4 overall against John Glenn. He won his first 4 matchups before finally falling back in 2014, then won 4 in a row again. So he won 8 of his first 9 head-to-head against John Glenn before losing the last 3 to Coach Edwards Muskies. And here go the Electrics trying to get a second down and short first down run from Lincecum, and they get it. So they're dialing up Lincecum early and often in the half.
Second effort that time. He was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Watching him spin out of the pile. He's hit immediately and then just kind of spins his way through. Nice job.
Electrics trying to get yet another touchdown on the board. Late touchdown in the second quarter before the half. They can get back-to-back scores here, which could take the wind out of the sails of the visiting Muskies looking for a win here on the road tonight.
Well, that would be a huge drive. They can go down and get 6 points here.
Back to pass. Preston feels the heat. Barnhouse has him sacked outside the 40 for a big loss.
Well, we just keep calling Barnhouse's number. The junior made an outstanding play to get a sack that time, that's for sure. Great play on the defense. They really needed something on defense to get them, off their heels because the Electrics have just been marching down the field on them the last 2 times they've had the ball.
Well, Preston play fake to Lincecum. Lincecum then was starting to go to his left, and here comes Barnhouse around the left end to Preston's right, and he couldn't get the block.
The play fake works great if the linebackers aren't blitzing. If they're reading, they're going to take that play fake. But if they're on a blitz, that play fake just gives them another extra step to get to the quarterback.
That means 2nd and 20, loss of 10 on that play. Here goes Preston downfield, one-on-one coverage, incomplete, sails over the head, the intended target, which is Griffin Wells.
That wasn't even close. He may have thrown that away on purpose.
And now it's 3rd and 20 for the Electrics, so what looked tantalizingly good.
It did.
The Electrics scoring-wise going down the field to start this half, now is all of a sudden in big trouble.
Well, a play-action pass should have been a great call because they'd run the ball on him, but they had a blitz on, and a play-action fake didn't hold Barnhouse, and he made the sack.
So 3rd and 20. Philo has to get to the John Glenn 22-yard line. They'll have 2 plays to do so if they just elect to go for it on 4th, depending upon what happens on 3rd here. Here goes Preston, and he's flushed out of the pocket and in trouble, and down he goes again at the line of scrimmage. He may actually pick up a yard, so the Muskies will not get credit for a sack, but it's going to be 4th and long.
Well, the defense blitzed the inside linebacker up the middle, forced Preston out of the pocket, and then Cash Smith was right on the spot, made the tackle.
And so that's going to bring out the special teams unit. Electric's going to have to kick this one and punt it away with Savage. John Glenn doing a great job here of late, except for that tail end of the first half.
This might be a tailor-made punt for the Electrics. They don't punt the ball very far. They don't really need to punt it far this time. They just need to cover this punt. They might end up with pinning John Glenn deep.
And this one's going to hit at about the 5, but it bounces too hard and fast into the end zone for a touchback. And so John Glenn will take over after that with 8:22 left to go in the 3rd quarter. It'll be their first offensive possession of the half. Still down only 5, 12-7, so they avoided a disaster start here in the 3rd quarter.
Great job by their defense after giving up a couple of first downs on the ground and a quarterback sack. They held. And now with the punt going in the end zone, they're not pinned deep. So, like you said, Hank, they're only down 5, and they've been moving the ball on the Electrics very well their last 2 possessions.
Meanwhile, a couple other scores to note. These games went to halftime a short time ago. Tri-Valley and Sheridan were deadlocked 7 apiece. New Lex all over Crooksville 33-0. And West M 14-all with Coshocton. More to come in a moment after this play, as it's a short gain by Noah Winland. Maysville 7-0 on Riverview. Zanesville's getting beat tonight. Blue Devils playoff hopes could hinge on that game, losing 28-14 to Watkins Memorial. Morgan all over Meadowbrook as the Raiders look to make the postseason this year.
Well, I told your coach last week, Coach Bowman, that they look like a football team. They look like football players. All of a sudden, they don't look like a bunch of kids that shouldn't be out there. They look like a football team, and they played a tough game last week. And so hopefully they'll win their last 2 and be in the postseason.
Out of the shotgun, 2nd down and 7 for the Muskies. Winland will run again forward, calling his own number for maybe 1.
The old counter trounce play that John Rigg has made famous with the Redskins. The back goes to the right guard and right tackle pull and lead to the left. Instead of giving the ball to the running back to be the counter carrier, the quarterback keeps it himself. At that time, nobody was fooled.
Well, big play for the Muskie offense now to avoid a 3-and-out and punting it back over to Philo. 3rd and 6. Got to get to their own 30-yard line. Ball here at the 24. Back split. Receivers also split. Windland back to pass. No pressure. Wide open catch made by the tight end who slipped out. That's a first down on the far side, and it's over the 40-yard line. Making the catch for the John Glenn Muskies is Caleb Larrick, a junior, stands 6'6", 225 pounds, and the Larricks have all had big physiques over the course of time.
That play they ran in the first quarter, in their first series, and the quarterback didn't see him. Well, the coaches saw it upstairs. Instead of going right back to it, they saved it for the time they really needed it. And that time, it was the same result. Nobody was over there. And like I said, he is a huge target.
And it worked for 18 yards, dug to the 42.
Nice pass by Wimland. Good execution, good pass blocking all the way around.
Larrick, a varsity letterman, just a junior. Here's a run as the Muskies will go back to number 27, Lincoln Gilcher. Gilcher, the sophomore, saw a handful of carries in the first half. Very effective running there.
Yes, he has. He's been very effective tonight. He's running the ball hard. He's breaking tackles. That's the guy who had the leg drive down at the end zone down there.
Yeah. 4 yards for Gilcher on first down here on the pass run. We're at the midway point of the third quarter. And it's a 5-point electric lead. Both teams 3-5 coming in. John Glenn won last week in overtime at Riverview, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Philo, losers of 2 straight, looking to stop the bleeding and finish strong into the year and try to get into the postseason. Here goes Gilcher again. They call his number once more, and he'll pick up a few more. Short gain to the 48.
That time 17, Braden Bernard on the tackle.
And once again, the Muskies will face a third down situation here in the third quarter on their opening possession.
You know, Hank, you keep saying these teams are both 3-5, and they are. But it doesn't look like a 3-5 game to me. I mean, there's very few penalties. There's no sloppy play. Both teams are playing tough football. No mouthing, no trash talking. I mean, it just looks like 2 good, hard-nosed football teams playing.
That is definitely refreshing to see as Gilcher shifts in the backfield to the left. They fake to him. Does Windland. Windland tries to move forward to pick up the first down, and he's not able to get it. Only able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. So now decision time. A lot of football left to be made. You're on your side of the 50.
Oh, they're lining up. They're going to try to draw them off sides.
Coach Matt Edwards maybe rolling the dice, or there's a false start. So the left tackle moved early for John Glenn, and that'll change the situation.
Well, I really don't think they had a play called because they lined up too quickly, and I didn't see any signals from the sideline. I think that was just going to be a hard count and try to catch. Watch how hard he claps his hands. Bam! Okay. Yep, it tricked somebody. Wrong guy.
74, Nick Zanders.
Punt team's out.
Guilty of that movement on the left side.
You know, you're 3-5. Don't be surprised if you see trickery and deception in the kicking game here.
Nathan Walker, he is quite an athlete to punt this one away, or we think, and he will with his foot here, and he gets off a booming kick. Yeah, good punt. Fielder at the 20 on the fly, 25. Nice cutback by 25. He'll go past the 30, and he's just going to be held up at about the 34-yard line with a great tackle on the far side by Gates Thompson, I do believe, for John Glenn. Check that number.
Well, that was a saving tackle, that's for sure.
Calden Black, actually, on the stop. Number 23 for the Muskies. Give him credit. You'll see it again here on the Ohio Education Credit Union instant replay. As thought for a second, this one had a lot more coming, and then it ended abruptly, but good field position for Philo. Their defense does the job.
Nice job on the punt return, no doubt about it.
Electric's clinging to that 5-point lead with 4:15 left to go in the third quarter. Next week, we'll bring you on the game of the week. New Lexington and the Panthers against the Sheridan Generals at Thornville. And what a game that will be. 2 teams already clinched playoff spots, both 7-1 entering play tonight. Always a great Perry County tussle between those two. Here we go with a run play for Philo on first down. Late flag comes in after Savage wasn't able to get back but to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's usually where holding is detected. Yep, on the Electrics. Interesting time here. You take the penalty or you take the down.
See what Coach Edwards decides to do. He will elect to take it. Making it first down and 20 for Philo here.
Hard to turn down those big penalties.
Keep backing yourself up in your own territory.
You know, Philo has played it conservative at times in these kind of situations. And I think that's what Coach Edwards is banking on. If they're going to try to run the ball up the middle, we can stop them and change this field position around. It's be interesting to see if the Electrics come out throwing.
Preston out of the gun. We have more flags. May have a delay here. Nope, false start actually. They did get it off, but it was a false start. That'll cost them another 5 yards. So Philo going the wrong way, shooting themselves in the foot here.
Well, with a 5-point lead, you just can't afford to do that. If this team scores, if John Glenn pushes another ball over the end zone line, they're ahead. You don't even have to get an extra point to take the lead. And we saw their kicker. Is it Rector? I mean, he can kick it from it. Looked to me like he'd be a threat from 25 to 30 yards out.
See if the Electrics can get off a play here eventually, cleanly. Again, we have a delay. The action on the field. Ball has been marked back to the Philo 18, where it'll be first down and 26. They can snap this one off here momentarily.
Okay, they're trying to adjust the clock time.
Still rolling, as you see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Running clock, and it's okay right now, under 3:40 left to go in the third. Bobbled exchange, and looking to pass. The Searles, he's got to be a wide open cut at the 43. Midfield 40. John Glenn's 30, 20, 10, 5. Good night, touchdown, Philo.
Back pass.
As they go up by 2 scores with that touchdown play to Griffin Wells. Searles to Wells. They dial distance.
I tell you what, that was quite a call.
82 yards. As you see that pass, wide open Wells, and he did the rest.
That's the greatest halfback fake I've ever seen. He tucked the ball away. He jumped over a tackler, ran toward the line of scrimmage, then stopped and pulled the ball out and threw it. I've never seen it executed like that. Apparently neither has John Glenn.
No, and Dirk Lincecum pulling out all the tricks and the stops here late in the third to get his team up 2 scores. With 3:27 left to go in our third frame.
Well, they're going to go for 2. They've run up the middle every time on their extra point play, and it hasn't even gotten close to working. Let's see what goes in this time.
Philo extends the lead out to 18-7.
Whoa!
And more trickery. Searles this time. Searles getting the flip from Lincecum, and he uses his wheels to get 2 on this score to extend it out now to a 20-7 advantage, Philo.
I think you better check those helmets for rabbits.
Take another look. Didn't think it was quite rabbit season here in October.
No, it's not. It is here in Philo. The tricks are everywhere.
Look at Searles just using the speed.
Look at the block in the end zone.
Well, Philo is now up 13. You see the score at the bottom. And Searles has basically contributed in all sorts of ways for this lead at 20-7 for Philo. He's run for a touchdown from 11 yards out in the first quarter. That got the scoring started. He's made a big 3rd down and 8 reception late in the second quarter that helped Philo keep possession of the football and score with 3 seconds left to go until halftime when Drew Lincecum finished it off on a TD reception out of the backfield. And then Searles just throws a touchdown pass here. He's been a part of all their scoring drives in a big way.
I tell you what, that I saw, I think it was Griffin Wells in the end zone blocking his defensive back, and he definitely kept that defensive back from even having an opportunity to make a tackle. Nice job, great execution that time.
So Cade Searles with the 2-point conversion there just a moment ago. 82-yard touchdown pass on a trick play downfield as he hit number 25 for the Philo Electrics and Griffin Wells. So senior to senior connection on senior night.
Whoa.
And then Philo will squib this ensuing kickoff, and it'll be down there by a Muskie in Lane Hall at his own 28-yard line. So Coach Matt Edwards in his 8th year has a lot of work to do down 13. Playoff hopes on the line. They had to win this game, and they basically have to win over Tri-Valley to have a shot to get in. Tri-Valley obviously be a big win for John Glenn. For Philo, you win this game tonight, stop your 2-game losing streak. You turn around and beat rival Maysville next week, finish 5-5. Hey, anything's possible. We'll see how the computer points would play out.
Well, for both those teams. I think Maysville come into the week 9 4-4.
Yeah, Maysville was on the cusp. Riverview was on the cusp on the outside.
So, yeah, it's there's a lot on the line.
And that's
more so than in years past when if you were 4-5, your season was over.
And we're referring to Division 4, Region 15 specifically there with those teams, Philo and Maysville and Riverview, all trying to get up in. As the first down play goes for just a couple over the 30, near the 31 for John Glenn late here in the third.
Well, you know, the bad news is they're down by 13 points. The good news is we're still in the third quarter. And they've shown that they can move the football, running and passing. So John Glenn is far from out of this game. And that's something I'm sure Coach Linscomb and his staff has reminded their defensive unit. You know, this is no time to take a few plays off.
Let's see what the Muskies come out and do here on second down. Like I said, still plenty of time left to go. Wendland only a yard maybe on that second down play. So the Muskies facing third down and 6 with 2.5 to play in this third quarter. It's vital they start picking up these first downs rather than putting the ball back in the hands of the Electrics, riding the momentum here in front of the home crowd down 13.
That was a nice tackle that time by Kyler Nader. He was definitely not fooled at all. Big play here for the John Glenn Muskies. They need to convert this first down here. They're going to be giving the ball away where they don't want to.
Receiver split, back split, Wendland out of the gun, looking to pass. It's a screen play to Rock. Rock out of the backfield, cuts across the field. He's got a first down as he gets past the 40. He got stuck hard by Talon Preston at the end of that one. But Rock's okay, and he gets up and says first down, John Glenn.
No doubt about it, but I didn't think quarterbacks could hit that hard. Boy.
And you'll see it right here.
Talon Preston put a lick
on it.
Oh, that's going to leave a mark.
Great form tackling, and yeah, it can happen, and Preston showed it.
Great call by Coach Edwards.
As he dialed up the screenplay, and Rock was able to get it up to the 40-yard line. Gain of 9, and it's back to the ground game. Looking for lead blocks. Wendland trickles forward for a couple, maybe 3 to the 43.
Philo's running some run blitzes on their defense. I saw number 17 that time, Braden Bernard. I mean, he was flying up into that gap. I don't think he saw anything. I just think he was on a predetermined blitz. There he is right there, getting in on the tackle.
Clock still moving. We near 1 minute left to go in the third quarter. Philo 20, John Glenn 7. Your Community Bank Game of the Week here on WHIZ TV, Facebook Live as well. Next week, New Lexington Sheridan at a Week 10 showdown of Perry County rivals.
Play clock's down to 3 seconds. They're going to have to hurry. They're not. Oh, they barely got that one off.
And they did, and it worked out as Wendland was able to wiggle his way forward up the middle, short of midfield. They'll put him down to the 48 with the knee. 5 more for Wendland. John Glenn will have a third down and short coming and see if they'll be able to run one more play here in this third quarter. Yeah, there's about a 3-second difference between the game clock and the play clocks, and the Muskies will have to run one. Here in the third, as it winds itself down, they try to get back in it and get the score that they just gave up to Philo. It was 12-7, remember, at the half, and the Electrics just stuck one in.
Well, Philo just sent Ashton Schultz back in, the 300-pound nose man, expecting to run up the middle, and here it comes.
And it's not going to be enough.
No, it's not. He's short, and that's who was in on the tackle. Ashton Schultz, nice play.
So Gilcher.
You're just not going to move a guy who's 5'8", 300 pounds out of the way. Fourth down.
Gilcher picked up 1. They needed 2, and that's the last play of the third quarter. And we'll step aside for a break as well here on the Game of the Week. Electrics looking to get back in the win column. Looking good here at home on senior night, 20-7.
So, what do you think?
We're prepared to offer cash.
When you get great deals at Denny's,
$5.99.
You'll start to expect great deals everywhere. New all-day diner deals starting at $5.99. 10 delicious meals, only at Denny's.
Your locally owned Tire Pros, City Tire Zanesville, Coshocton City Tire, and Buckeye Tire Pros of Cambridge have the largest inventory in a 3-county area. They offer a simple, straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes nationwide warranties, hassle-free experience, and a vast selection of Michelin tires. No matter what you drive or where you've driven, Michelin has a tire to fit any need, and we offer service for your commercial vehicles to keep your business rolling.
When you need tires, think of us, your locally owned tire dealers.
Don and Sue started in 1972. It's been around a long time, just a good pizza. We want to keep it going. A lot of the families come in with their kids after the YMCA games, after North Catholic games, after North Wildcat games, scoreboards and all the old Volkswagens. And it's just a neat atmosphere here. The community bank has helped me so much with not even only this purchase. I started a relationship with Jim Holman there a couple years ago. He is in here all the time. He knew this would work, and that's why they weren't nervous at all to jump right in and give us a loan.
The overall culture here is one of servitude. Everything that we do day to day is affected by what is best for the customer.
As soon as you get that policy, the process doesn't stop there. We don't put you to the side.
They get to know us. They get to be our friends. They are members of our community.
We just treat people like we would treat our own family.
We want to be here for you, whatever the circumstance.
We're available to you whenever you need us.
Call Williamson Insurance Service, representing Grange Insurance in Zanesville, Newark, and Pataskala.
Do you have to ask your wife or husband to repeat everything she says or he says? Don't get mad. Call us at Norvell's Hearing Aid Center in Zanesville or Cambridge for a free hearing aid consultation.
Norvell's, helping save marriages for over 50 years.
At Denny's, we're open to being extra by bringing all your favorite fall flavors together. With sweet pecan sauce and real pumpkin mash, you'll fall for this breakfast. Social Stars influenced.
It's good.
Extra good. So pumpkin pancakes. Only at Denny's.
Philo hanging on by 13. John Glenn with the football. 4th down and 1 as we start the quarter here in the 4th. And the Muskies are obviously going to line up to go for it. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to play call on 4th down.
Okay, they moved the ball up about a half a foot there, but it's a long yard for the first down. And the Philo defense has the beef on the defensive line right now, that's for sure.
John Glenn wants to get back into the game, have a chance to win. They probably need to convert right here, and it's close, and I think they did not get it. You're right, Doug. As you scream in and holler because the Electrics, Drew Lincecum and company, stepped up with the D.
Well, they had to get to the stripe, and he didn't even get close to that. It's first down, blue.
Had to get to the 50-yard line stripe. There you see the indication on the field. Muskies turned away on 4th and 1, unable to convert.
I like to see that play again because, I mean, when Drew Lincecum hit that running back, he went down immediately. There was no struggle, no wiggling. It was just hit. 2 hits, me hitting you and you hitting the ground.
Well, you get your wish. Here's a replay of the stick, and it was Lincecum as called.
Solo tackle.
And he put Gilcher down short of that first down marker, and Philo with a defensive stop on the first play of the 4th quarter here, up by 13 at home. The winner goes to 4-5. The loser falls to 3-6 and probably out of the playoffs altogether. So it's like a playoff game atmosphere and game here on the Game of the Week for you tonight. Here we go with Lincecum getting the first down carry. He's going to find his way to a first down on the far sideline, it appears, inside the 40 of John Glenn.
The young man's having quite a night. Good blocking on the perimeter. Lincecum has good speed. Here he comes.
And he just starts to pick up the pace right there. He just made it look so easy on that run. But there was a flag, unfortunately, that will take that away from Drew. So that's what John Glenn needed, and not for Philo, obviously, as they look and try to salt away the victory here tonight.
Well, I tell you what, that was a big shake of the salt shaker had that play stood. That's a first down. Would have been in 4-down territory. 1st and 10. I mean, it was an untimely call for the Electrics.
Now the officials will huddle up for just, well, it appeared like they were going to huddle up, but they're going to change the clock to 11:49. So the clock showed 11:44. So they're adding 5 more seconds. And we have a moment here prior to the first down and 20 play here for the Electrics after the penalty. Updated score to pass along to you between Tri-Valley and Sheridan in the Big School Division Championship game. Parents 7-1 playoff teams to come. Scotties have taken lead on Sheridan late in the 3rd, 13-7.
Look out.
And a touchdown pass, maybe. Oh, it's stride, but just short. Wow.
You know, if I was John Glenn, I would decline any penalty that made it 1st and 20 or 1st and 25. Because every time it's like that, Philo comes up with a big play.
Preston on the money.
Right on the money.
And Searles just outran the defensive coverage, in particular Kobe Shade.
I'm telling you, turn that boy loose.
And so that'll put it down to the John Glenn 12-yard line.
Great call.
And that pass play goes for 49 yards, Doug. You start at your own 39 after the penalty, and you go all the way down this way with that play to Searles. And here it's Preston wiggling inside the 10 to about the 9 for 2 more. And Searles has continued to be a big play player, and big players make big plays in big games. He's been that.
You bet. Your best players have to make their big plays in games like this. These teams are evenly matched. I think that right on that play, Talon Preston, I think, set her NBL record for most moves on a 3-yard gain. But he turned a play that should have been a no gain at all into a positive play. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, they'll give him 3 to the 9. 2nd and 7, as you mentioned. They can pick up a first down at the 2. Lincecum gets the call here on the right with a sweep, and John Glenn snuffs it out. No gain for Drew.
You know, the timing on that play was off. The snap was just a little high, and I think Lincecum had to kind of hesitate. Yeah, right there. And defense caught up with him easily. Nice pursuit there by number 4 for John Glenn. Cash Smith. I've called his name several times tonight.
Cameron Barnhouse also over in the vicinity at the end of that tackle too. And so Muskie defense, they need a hold here in the biggest of ways.
Oh, no doubt.
Philo sticks another one in. You might put that final nail in the coffin here early, going up 3 scores. You have a man in motion. And that was Searles. They go his direction. Preston left it short at about the 9. And so it will be 4th down for Philo. Will they attempt a short field goal to try to extend it out to a 16-point lead, or does that card, so to speak, say go for it and take your chances?
Well, I think from what we've seen in their point-after-touchdown game, they have never sent out a kicker. It looks like they are this time. That's interesting to me.
Well,
they haven't tried one extra point, and yet they're going to try a field goal. How far is this going to be? The ball's going to be on the tee at about the 15. It's a 25-yard field goal.
Yep, 25 yards out it would be.
Is that who's that out there? Is that number 25? Is that Griffin Wells?
That's Wells, who made the 82-yard touchdown reception for the Electrics there late in the 3rd quarter, which helped put Philo up 20-7. There's a timeout, first down on the field here with 9 minutes, 51 seconds left to go in this 4th quarter. So, you know, if you make the field goal, you go up by 16. You're up 23-7. That's 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions. You basically avoid yourself from losing probably in regulation. You miss it. John Glenn gets 2 touchdowns, 2 kicks. They were successful on the early one tonight. You could lose the game. Again, a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas and all that stuff. You decide to go for it and get the touchdown rather than kick the field goal. You go up 3 scores, and again, you look very good in winning the game at the end.
Well, there's another scenario, Hank. If John Glenn blocks his kick, I mean that could be a touchdown. And you can advance a block kick if they do that. That field goal strategy looks real bad.
Well, let's see if they come back out and line up and do it. They did initially, then the timeout called in. Yes, they will. They'll bring back on the kicking unit. Will the Electrics to try that 25-yard field goal try with the holder being Demetrius Strickland, and again doing the kicking Griffin Wells.
The ball is going to be placed down just beyond the 15-yard line. Be a 25-yard kick by number 25.
There's a snap and the hold down by Strickland. Kick on play. It's airborne. It's a low one, and it's no good. It didn't get over that crossbar, and so there you go. Philo's chance to go up by 16 stays at 13, leaving that door ajar for the John Glenn Muskies.
Well, the best thing out of that was they burned some time off that clock, but there's still plenty of time in this game. 9:46 to go. John Glenn has 3 timeouts, so we'll see what the strategy is now from Coach Edwards. I mean, they're down there. Where they're going to be at the where they marked that at the 20.
So the field goal no good, and
all right, they're going to mark that thing 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Yep.
So we'll see. They're 80 yards away and down 13 points. See if they come out throwing the ball.
Just under 10 minutes left to go in the game. You see the score at the bottom right with the time.
You know, they have plenty of time to go down and get just a regular touchdown drive offense, running, passing. And then they'd have to hurry the next time. We'll see. But they're going to come out throwing it. Screen pass again.
And
Gilcher down. Ooh.
Yeah, Gilcher caught it, paid the price with the hit at the end. There's a flag back behind the line of scrimmage. Usually know what that means. And there's the indication. It's a hold.
Boy, I tell you what, Ty Moorhead slammed that ball carrier down with that receiver. A nice tackle. But they've thrown that middle screen 2 or 3 times tonight. That time they grabbed somebody.
They do seem to like that play. Has worked out. And
you really, as a coach, you you really hate holding penalties, but on a screen pass, you really hate them because you're letting the guys come in. You're not trying to stop them. And so that's like a double whammy. Wow, that's a killer penalty.
Yeah, and this pushes John Glenn way back in their own territory, inside their own 10-yard line, in fact, as it's a spot of the foul penalty for 10 yards. So that puts it back to the 8. The Muskies will take over here with a first down and 22. They need to get out to the 30.
Different quarterback.
Time is a big factor. Now to the shotgun. He saw some limited action earlier in this half as Jake Johnson. He'll go deep. It's picked off. And his talent Preston at the 32 of the INT. Still working his feet down the sidelines. And he won't get the run back for a score. But he has done some things here for the Philo defense.
I tell you what, that was a great over-the-shoulder catch. Look at this. I mean, he is amazing. He looked like he ran the best pattern. Over the shoulder on the dead run. Nice job. Tightropes down that sideline.
And Preston putting on some moves. Nearly got it to the end zone. Got held short at the 12-yard line, but they're knocking on the door just where they were just moments ago when they missed the field goal. So Philo has a chance to get points back on the board that they didn't get.
So was that Jake Johnson, the quarterback on that play?
It was. It was Johnson who threw the interception. He's come in a couple times here throughout this game. They've sprinkled him in, so they wanted to air it out with him, and it backfired. He looked for Gates Thompson, overshot him.
Oh, way overshot him. Okay, what we got here? We got too many guys on the field. That's going to be a penalty.
Lincecum able to get off, but there comes that flag. Now you have 0 on the play clock. And that's it right there, delay game.
Well, a lot of times when you have a quick change like that, somebody gets lost or too many guys go out and you just have a miscommunication with your offensive unit. And I'm surprised that Coach Lincecum didn't burn a timeout right there.
He has 2. John Glenn, you mentioned just moments back, have all 3.
They're down there far enough. Every time they have a 1st and 20, they make a big play. So that's what they do on 1st and 15.
Preston to Searles. Searles turns on those afterburners. He'll go out of bounds with a decent little run here.
It's like just like another gear.
So it was 1st and 15 at the 17. He basically got the 5 yards almost back there off the penalty. I actually called 2nd and 11, 4 yards on the run by Searles. Bad news for Philo is they stopped the clock. That's good news for John Glenn as they try to stay in the game, but just over 9 minutes left to go. Backs against the walls if you're the Muskies. They need another stop. Philo trying to, again, go up by 3 scores, and Savage is called, and Savage is up into down low for maybe 1.
I know, not much on that play at all.
Makes 3rd down and long for the Electric offense. As you take one more peek at this one, your Philo, you want to keep the clock running. John Glenn knows that.
Wow.
I expect run here, though. It's 3rd and 10.
Well, I saw a heck of a block that time. Hayden Adolph, that was a pancake. That was a nice block.
So 3rd and long, and you just saw what you just described as Philo running a late player out on the field, and that was Fink in time.
Yeah, I guess who they're looking for.
1-on-1! Oh, over the shoulder catch, touchdown, Searles! As he does it again, this time a receiving touchdown for Cade Searles.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what. Look at this catch.
And Philo goes up 26-7 right here. What the snare was that?
17 for John Glenn. Had no idea until the last second. Kobe Shade, and it was just too little, too late. He couldn't believe that ball was in that spot. He just couldn't believe it. Perfect perfect position for that football.
And it could be nothing but shade now for John Glenn as Philo bumps it out to a 26-7 lead with 8 minutes, 19 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Electrics will come out. They're going to probably line up and go for two again. They've been unsuccessful on a few tries. They did convert their last two-pointer. As Preston will come out with it, get the snap, throws it over towards Searles, and it's incomplete. He was met by a pair of Muskie defenders, so they'll fail again on the two-point conversion. 3 out of 4 times they have failed, but you're up 3 scores, 26-7. Not much has failed for you overall.
No, that last touchdown was a killer for the Muskies. I mean, that definitely put the hook in the Muskie.
So the Electrics now up 3 scores. Looking to stop a 2-game losing streak. Losses to Sheridan 35-6, Tri-Valley 28-6 in back-to-back weeks. Right now up big here on John Glenn, looking to get to 4-5, taking on Maysville away next week. 5-5, maybe a playoff berth for Philo. A lot to be decided up until then. John Glenn, 5 straight years they made the postseason playoffs, and that's all on the line. And they got 8-19 to try to continue that trend. And
well, we talked about John Glenn running into 3 really good teams to start their season. Well, if you remember right, Philo lost 3 games, I think, by 7, 5, and 1 games, and where all 3 of those games came down to one play, one way or the other, and it went the other 3 times in a row for the Electrics. And they could have been at one time 3-1 instead of 1-3. Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Ensuing kickoff, and it's loose, and Philo may have pounced on this one. And they did inside the 25, and now we have a little bit of fisticuffs and extracurriculars there at the tail end of the pile.
Well, they're fighting with that football, and I tell you what, number 40 came up with that thing for the Electrics, Ty Moorhead. That ball just kept bouncing and kept bouncing. It looked like the kickoff no one wanted to catch. Watch this thing.
Yeah,
there you go. Look. Not me, not me, not me, not me, him. I tell you what, that might be the longest onside kick in the history of the MVL.
And the Electrics will take over the John Glenn 24-yard line. Senior night, parents' night, last home game of the year. Philo's lost 3 straight matchups to John Glenn.
This is a great time for that big pass play.
And they're looking for more. Back to Searles, one-on-one coverage, and he tried to turn around and make the same type of catch for the touchdown moments ago, and he was unable to get that one.
It looked like the old back shoulder catch you see on Sunday all the time. And he turned a little sooner. I think he'd have come down with that. And it was a little off the mark.
And so it will be 2nd down and 10. Clock stop, 8:12 actually left to go in this one. As Philo looks to continue to impress and add more points here in this half.
I mean, that's almost a standard operating procedure. Quick change of possession and go for the big play on 1st down. We're going to have motion that time. I think the right tackle got off a little quick.
That'll cost Philo 5 more yards right here on that movement.
Well, they should be right where they want to be now. They got 2nd and 15. Some of their best plays have been on 1st and 25 and 1st and 20.
So 2nd and 15 at the John Glenn 29-yard line. Electrics will look very impressive here in this second half in particular. John Glenn's lone score came back in the second quarter late in the half. It was almost 7-6 John Glenn at halftime. Who would have thunk it? 20 straight by the Electrics since then, 26-7.
3 shutout quarters so far by the Electrics.
Preston out of the gun, waves Searles in motion, hands it off to the man of the hour, or hours you could say, but he's tripped up this time for a loss.
Barnhart made that tackle, and he's slow to get up. He's okay now, it looks like.
That'd be a loss of 3. Back to about the 32-yard line. Clock ticking under 8 minutes now left to play in the fourth quarter.
Cameron Barnhouse has been involved in some of the biggest plays on defense. Most of them in his favor, but at the end of the half, he lost the battle with Drew Lincecum on that touchdown pass, but he's made some big plays tonight.
Electrics will huddle up here with a 3rd down and 19. Actually, a loss of 4 technically to the 33. By Searles on that last run try. Here's a pass pressing down the sidelines and nearly intercepted. He was looking Searles' direction over there on that far sideline.
Well, the safety came over from his position there in the middle of the field, and the corner was running with him step for step. So John Glenn was not going to give up a big pass play to Searle on that time.
Almost an INT thrown by Preston. Preston has thrown for a pair of touchdown passes here in this game. Threw one to Lincecum and one to Searles. Now 4th and 19 for the Electrics. 7:29 left to go in this one. And a timeout called on the field, it appears here, to decide what they want to do. Spec being deep in territory of John Glenn's territory, they're going to go ahead and go for it, but what do you call? Meanwhile, while this timeout takes place, New Lexington at Sheridan is our game of the week next week to finish up the regular season in week 10, Doug. And an update with Sheridan Tri-Valley. It's a doozy. It's about 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter of that game. The Generals are driving here at the Tri-Valley 33-yard line. It's 13-7. Scotty's clinging to a 6-point lead. That's a photo finish down to the final moments.
I wonder if that was a missed extra point or 2 field goals.
It was a blocked PAT.
Oh.
Got word, too. Tri-Valley could have went up 14-7 and missed earlier in this one.
Well, we thought that was going to be a big factor in this game. Especially when John Glenn all of a sudden in the second quarter took over this game, marched down the field, missed one touchdown opportunity, went for it on 4th down and missed it, and got the ball right back and went down and scored, kicked the extra point for a 1-point lead. And Philo hasn't for a team that tried a field goal, they haven't tried one extra point kick tonight.
That's a head scratcher, isn't it?
It is.
Well, 4th down 19 after a timeout was just called. And they will go for it at the Muskie 33-yard line. But
the old quick kick.
The quick kick. Yep, it was a punt by Preston, and it's going to be a touchback. Philo couldn't get their hands on it in time before it bounced in the end zone.
The dreaded quick kick.
That was possible considering you needed 19 yards on 4th down when you come out of that TO.
Good call. It was a good call. Excellent call.
John Glenn will now take over. Possession at their own 20-yard line. 7 minutes, 21 seconds left to go as the Muskies trying to make it 4 straight years winners over the Electrics, and that's in big trouble. Philo last time, not only have they lost 3 in a row to John Glenn, last time they beat the Muskies here at Sam Hatfield Stadium was 5 years ago in 2017. Both teams were playoff teams. One was a regional runner-up. That was Philo. The regional champion who made it to the Final Four was John Glenn. Philo beat them that year, and John Glenn had that quite a season. Both had great years. 5 years back when Philo last beat John Glenn here on this field, and it looks like that could be coming in tonight. Still a little bit over 7 minutes left to go. First down play is incomplete.
Well, John Glenn has to throw the ball. They have no choice. If they run it, Coach Lincecum will probably cheer for them because right now the clock is their biggest enemy, and so Philo's defense, you can do anything now as a defensive coordinator. You can blitz, you can rush 3, you can rush 4. Here comes an outside blitz from the linebacker. Yeah, you bet.
And
pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, Winland's wrapped up and down for a sack.
Lincecum's going to get a sack on that one. The best pass defense in the world is when the quarterback is an inch from the ground. That's for sure. I mean, if he's on his back, he can't throw the ball. Nice play.
There you see it. Loss of about a yard or so. Be a 3rd down and long, about 3rd and 11 for John Glenn. Score update, fresh and hot off the presses. Generals have just taken the lead, 14-13, extra point good. It was an 8-yard touchdown pass from Reed Packer to Drew Boyer. That's the second TD reception tonight by Drew Boyer. Wow, what a game in Dresden between the Generals and the Dogs. Meanwhile, our game here, Philo. 26-7, John Glenn trying to make a big comeback. And on 3rd and 11, we have a late flag off an incomplete pass, it looks, to the back. As that one was thrown down at the shoelaces.
There's that little middle screen again. I mean, I think they've gone to the well once too often on that. We'll see what the penalty is.
Clock stopped, 6:27 to go. Remember at one point in time, Doug, there was like no penalty flags. They've been a-flying in the second half, haven't they?
Have. Well, I've never seen any holding against the John Glenn. No doubt about it.
Well, 4th down and long for John Glenn, down 19, and your pin and the punt unit's going to come out. It's almost like a concede moment for Matt Edwards' club.
Well, no doubt. Some people say, well, you should go for it. Well, so what if you do go for it, and what if you get the first down? So what? You're still down, 19 points. So if you don't punt it, you have a really good chance of being down by 6 or 7 more.
Nathan Walker on to punt. And a good high kick. Fair catch call indicated and fumbled. And here's what could happen. John Glenn recovers at the Philo 42-yard line. As getting that recovery is Ryder Rock, as unable to hang on to that punt was Griffin Wells.
Well, you know, I'm a big proponent of catching the punt because it saves your team maybe 10, 15, or 20 yards of field position depending on the bounce. But in this situation, let it hit. We won. The first game I won as head coach at Kirksville was over Rosecrans because Rosecrans' punt return man elected to catch the punt. Had he let that thing hit the ground, they had the lead, and we would not have won the game. And that opened the door for us. And so that was a great lesson for our team in that situation. We never fielded a punt, you know, in that situation.
Sometimes that's all you need when you're trailing on the scoreboard to get back into things.
That's right.
And John Glenn quickly dials up Walker downfield for a first down catch. And at the midway point of the fourth quarter, this one's not over yet, especially if the Muskies stick one in quickly.
Well, the air is going to be full of footballs, and we have Johnson in at quarterback.
At the 33-yard line. And looking to pass again. You got 4 receivers, 3 over to the right side. Going back to the left side, and it's incomplete right through the hands and the fingertips of Covey Shade, and Shade should have had that one.
Oh, no doubt about it. Quarterback rolled to his right, pulled up, threw back to his left. Shade was wide open, coming back on that little underneath screen, almost like a flanker screen or whatever. That play was really popular a few years ago. People just couldn't hardly begin to stop it. And if he'd have caught that ball, he would have picked up some nice yardage.
Instead, it's 2nd and 10 at the electric 33-yard line. 4 receivers still, 2 each direction. Now man in motion goes Thompson from left to right. Feeling the heat, nearly taken down, and now will go down for a second. The 40-yard line as big number 70 for Philo, Damon Myers, gets the sack.
Yeah, big is right. Woo, baby.
There's your replay of it. Really hog-tied him up around the neck for the sack as down goes Jake Johnson, who threw an interception on the previous possession for John Glenn, this time taken down hard. He's back up.
Well, you know, if you're a defensive lineman right now and they run dive left, you could care less. All you want to do is get some stickers on that helmet for quarterback sacks.
And he'll roll left. Will Johnson downfield, throws to Walker, who jumps up and makes the grab, and then took a stick inside the 30 of Philo.
Boy, I tell you, that was an outstanding catch, and hang on to that football because that may have been the hardest hit we've seen all night. Who delivered that thing?
He'll spot at the 28-yard line. As you see the high catch made by Walker.
Boom.
And the demolishing hit down below. A clean one by Preston. He's played some really tough-nosed defense tonight. Has an interception to his credit as well.
Well, I was going to say that might have been the hardest hit, but maybe the one he made earlier in the game was harder than that. He's made some big hits tonight.
Gilcher in the backfield. Johnson rolling right, throws on the run, got a man, caught, and it's Thompson at the 20, and he may be down shy of the 20-yard line as he tried to reach for the out-of-bounds line. About 4 minutes left to go, and that's a first down conversion by the Muskies to keep this drive alive late.
A lot of electrics on the scene. They just couldn't keep him from going. Yeah, they did keep him from going out of bounds. The clock is running. 3:53 and running.
Ball marked at about the 21-yard line where they'll place it. 4 receivers. A triplet of those to the left side. Gilcher in the backfield behind Johnson. Back to pass Johnson out of the gun. Middle of the field. Walker is go-to guy here in the last several plays. Hauls in another one at about the 10.
It looked to me like Ty Moorhead was all over him on that coverage. I don't think he could have been any better, but Walker just screened him out almost like a basketball player does underneath the basket. Got the reception.
Well, Walker, one of 5 John Glenn seniors, quite the athlete. Been on a lot of winning playoff teams for John Glenn over the years, trying to help his team get back there. They need 3 scores, though, to overtake Philo just to win this one. In motion, Thompson left to right. Johnson on, throws towards the end zone. It's short as he was looking for his intended target in shade.
John Glenn's receivers are running good routes. They're getting right into the face of the defender, and then just turning their back to him, facing the quarterback. They're shielding the defensive back from making a play, but that ball bounced well in front of the receiver that time.
Clock stop, 3:07 left to go here in the fourth. Of a Philo 26-7 lead. John Glenn on the move. They recovered a fumble on a punt moments ago. They're trying to cash in. Johnson out of the shotgun, rolling left, throwing again to his left. Got Thompson, and Thompson stuck hard by who else? Talon Preston. Inbounds clock will run, gain of about a couple to the 7.
I'll tell you what, it's definitely not Mr. Rogers' neighborhood when you catch the ball where number 2 is. You might catch it, but you're going to pay the price.
Third down and goal for John Glenn. Gain of 3 to the 7-yard line. 2.5 nearly left to go. It's Philo and their 16 seniors, the home crowd here on hand. Senior night, parents' night. Trying to go out a jubilant collection with a win over John Glenn and in a 3-game losing streak to the Muskies. Here we go, rolling right. Looking to pass, firing, end zone, touchdown, John Glenn. As hooking up, making that score, Kobe Shade from Jake Johnson.
He's wide open. Somebody blew a coverage in the secondary, that's for sure. I mean, he was totally uncovered on that pass play. Perfect pass, great execution. Nice drive by the Muskies.
With 2:16 left to go, they cut the lead in half to 26-13. They go 42 yards short field as the punt was fumbled and muffed by the Philo Electrics, keeping that door open for John Glenn. They had to score quickly. They did so in a few minutes, but still down 2 scores with just over 2 minutes left to go. Tall task.
I think we're going to see John Glenn return a favor of the onside kick attempt here on this kickoff coming up. Going to go for 2.
Back split the backfield. Receivers as well split. Oh, it looked like a run, but it's a pass. Look at that. It looks like an old Tim Tebow type play.
Tim Tebow.
That's a 2-point conversion. Goes to the tight end, Caleb Larrick, for 2.
The extremely dreaded jump pass.
That'll make it 26-15 with the jump pass. You're right. Take another look. Wide open was Larrick. Larrick had 1 catch earlier in the game. Now 2-point conversion catch, and it's down to 11. And expect that onside kick coming next.
Oh, you bet. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They may kick it deep and depend on their defense, but I think they nearly have to go on the onside kick deal.
Meanwhile, while things are tightening up here with just over 2 to go, just under 2 minutes left to go, 1:53 to play. Generals leading the Scotties. Sheridan over Tri-Valley, still 14-13. Tri-Valley has all their timeouts left. Sheridan takes over on downs as Tri-Valley could not score after Sheridan just took the lead earlier in the fourth quarter, just minutes back.
It'll be interesting to see how well, regardless of how this game comes out with Tri-Valley, how well Sheridan will play next week. And it's really tough to play your 2 toughest opponents back-to-back in Week 9 and Week 10.
And we will see those Sheridan Generals next week against New Lexington. You're right.
Because, New Lex can score. I mean, they can score points. And they have an outstanding quarterback. They have an outstanding running back. They have a receiver that just broke the record for the MVL. But right now, we're playing onside kickball.
And here we go, and there it is, bouncing right to the 50, fielded cleanly by an Electric who took a pop. After collecting that one, no flag, clean play in the end. They say down on the field, and most importantly for Philo, they get the ball. John Glenn's effort here late, despite having all 3 timeouts left in the bag, could come up short here on the road tonight.
One of the coaching points on the onside kick, if you're the receiving team, is if it's kicked sharply toward you on the front line, you don't touch the ball. You block the first man coming at you, and the guys behind you field the ball. But that ball had to be fielded by the man on the front line that time because it was a dying quail all the way, and that ball would have been recovered by the John Glenn kickoff team for sure. Nice job.
One out all the terms. Quail has now come into play. I like it.
Rabbits, quail.
I've heard it all tonight. Halloween's still a few weeks away. What do you got cooking here in a couple of weeks?
Watching the outdoor channels.
Here's a Philo run. First and 10 from the 50 for a yard to the John Glenn 49. Expect your first of 3 timeouts, and there it is. Timeout by Coach Edwards and the Muskies. Again, with just over 2 minutes left to go. As you'll see, one more look here is, again, Philo's just trying to run out the clock, to say the least, as they gave that one to Max Zimmerman, a senior, one of 16 seniors. Again, senior night, last home game for a collection of those Philo Electrics. And, you know, as a former coach, and coach speak that you do always here, Doug, for us, you know, what's it like on the senior night for the kids?
It's very emotional. Sometimes it's so emotional your kids come out and lay the biggest goose egg you've ever seen because, you know, they've walked out on the field with their parents. It's not your usual routine where you warm up, you go to the locker room, you come back out and you play. Now your team's standing down in the end zone. Half your team's coming out with their mom and dad. People are taking their pictures. And, you know, these are kids. You know, they're not professionals. They're kids. They have strong emotions, and sometimes you really lay a goose egg. But I tell you right now, these kids came out on senior night and played. I'm really impressed with the seniors on this football team.
In addition to a few non-seniors here, like sophomore Talon Preston, who carries this one for about 3 to the 46.
Oh, no doubt. He's destined to be a Philo Electric football star. I mean, he's a sophomore. He plays extremely well. He plays both ways. He hits like a ton of bricks. I mean,
what can he do?
You know, if I was my coaching staff, I'd be arguing the point. He's too important on defense to play a minor position like quarterback. And, of course, I would have been outvoted by my staff. But, I mean, he's outstanding. We had a quarterback when I first started coaching. His name was Norm Burrows. He ended up going to Ohio State on a scholarship, and he played safety. And, I mean, we thought we called him an ice pick that wore a helmet because he would come up and just hurt people. And, in fact, Norm had an injury in his knee injury, and it kept him really from ever getting in the starting lineup. But he was on the special teams, and he made the tackle on the Heisman Trophy winner for Michigan on the kickoff to save the game for the Buckeyes. I taught him everything I know.
How about them Buckeyes? Right. Speaking of Buckeyes, they are off this week. And here goes Searles on a 3rd down at 60. John Glenn called their second of 3 timeouts. Expect number 3 right here. So there it is. All 3 timeouts burned by Coach Edwards and John Glenn, saving them with 1:57 seconds left to work with, down 11. They'll get the ball back, still need 2 scores. And speaking of burning all 3 timeouts, that's what Tri-Valley did in that game against Sheridan to get word with just over a minute left to go. Scotties have the ball back. They got to go 98 yards to take the lead in that one as they were pinned at their own 2. Here, John Glenn will have maybe the same situation after the punt. They might be backed up in their own territory deep likewise.
Well, I'll tell you what, unless they're playing the Cleveland Browns, I think they're going to lose. The Browns are famous for giving up 98-yard touchdown drives with 6 seconds to go in the game. But then, you know, we've seen Cade Searles make some big plays tonight. But that might be one of the smartest plays he's made all night. He didn't go out of bounds. He gained a couple yards, and then he just went to the ground and forced John Glenn to call that timeout. So stayed in bounds. He didn't fumble. He secured the ball. He hit the deck, forced the team to use their last timeout. Here we go. Punting formation.
And Searles only got 1 yard by doing that, so 4th and 5 at the John Glenn 45. And when this one concludes, we want to remind you, the Genesis player of the game, brought to you by Genesis Orthopedic Center, where better begins here. Searles, very high candidate for Philo to hang on and win this one, even if they don't. Here we go with a short kick, fielded by Walker on the fly. And here he goes, daylight, 35, 40, 45, 50. He's caught from behind at about the Philo 48-yard line. So quite the run back for Walker. Walker gets about 35 on that punt return.
Oh, my goodness. He's got up a little gimpy, too. That was looked like someone pressed his knee the wrong direction, but had he run that back, can you imagine? They're an onside kick from winning the game.
And you look at Walker, I mean, he had a lot of room there, and then all of a sudden it closed down because, you know, downfield, Philo and the kick coverage did the job just to stay there to kind of help with the defenders to come from behind to catch him.
Talon Preston. And on that tackle.
John Glenn in business here, down 11, looking to air it out quickly again. They're out of timeouts, though. Passing on the run. Got his man, but he dropped it. And Gates Thompson at the Philo 45. He was thinking green turf ahead.
He was. I think we might even be able to see his head turn a little too soon on the catch. Yeah, he was looking for that. Looking for the sideline, looking for the defender. He just bounced off of him.
So you've seen a lot of Jake Johnson here, the sophomore quarterback for the Mustangs.
Yeah.
Preston, obviously a sophomore, looking really good for Philo in the times we've seen him, including tonight. But Johnson's looked pretty well out here as he gets more action, working out of the gun. He'll go looking to sling deep. He's in trouble. He could be sacked. He will be sacked. Back on their own side of the field.
Kyler Nader had his arms out to sack him for about 15 yards across, and I think he ran into one of his teammates, and they both put him down. Watch this. I almost got him. I almost have him. Almost have him. Yeah.
And with a little assistance, Philo gets that sack in the end. Loss of 5 back to the 47 of John Glenn. 3rd and 15. Johnson on the run to the right. Pass downfield. Man flashed free wide open, and it's going to be close, but short of the first down at the Philo 40. Muskie's got to kick it in gear. Hurry up on 4th down.
Well, they are running out of time. Clock is running with 53 seconds to go.
No timeouts.
They need to score and then kick an onside kick.
Muskies need 2 on 4th and 2. They get it, and then some. That will stop the clock momentarily to move the sticks. Expect the Muskies to spike this one.
Oh, I think they nearly have to unless they throw it to the end zone.
They'll put it down. Set things up at the electric 37-yard line. Johnson again out of the gun. Gilcher behind him. Clock running, 35 seconds, and now he slams it down to the turf with 34. And so that'll mean a 2nd down and 10 looming here. Again, 34 seconds left to go as they place it back down to the 37-yard line. It looks like a little bit indecision or discussion down on the field on how the clock may have ran there prior to the spike. But it will remain 34 seconds left and a 2nd and 10 for the Muskies. Down 11. You see the score and time a big factor. A pair of 3 and 5 teams hoping for a playoff berth again this year. Philo trying to make it 3 straight years to make the playoffs. Here we go. Johnson passing to his left. He caught it as he was hit as he threw it downfield to Gates Thompson, who does the rest for a 1st down.
Too little, too late, Hank.
Final 26 ticks as they'll mark it up just outside the red zone at the 21-yard line. And there's a spike again. And so the clock will show 20 seconds left. And like you said, Doug, too little, too late. Not enough time left with the point differential.
Well, I think they have to throw it in the end zone. I mean, I think it's your only chance. If they get tackled in the field and it's not a 1st down, time's going to run out.
You might get the 1 score here, but you need 2.
That's right. I mean, if you get a score in this play, it means you have to recover an onside kick and throw a touchdown pass on the 1st or 2nd chance you had to do it.
4 receivers, 3 to the right. Whistle stopped this play immediately as it got going. As flags come flying in. Potential movement here on the Muskies for procedure, and it is. That'll be 5 more yards for the Muskies. They'll go back to about their 26-yard line.
You know, I'm watching John Glenn, and they're on the verge of having a losing season. But I can see the coaching of Matt Edwards and his staff. They're a well-coached team. And they have 5 seniors, but they're still a well-coached team.
And looking downfield, and incomplete was Johnson. He was looking for Caden Wagner downfield. Or check that. That would be Caden Black for the Muskies. Clock stop, 15 seconds left to go. And 3rd down and long for John Glenn. You mentioned, well-coached staff. I mean, assistant coaches. The name that stands out, Brad Barkley, Rosecrans, went to Muskingum, Mitch Bendel, Clint Fox, Jim Kornikovich, and Chris Mary, former players at John Glenn that I knew also by name.
They're all good coaches.
Running out of time here, though. Four receivers to each direction, looking to pass again. Middle of the field, Johnson incomplete. He was looking for Ryder Rock. Rock did get tripped up. They're going to call a penalty on Philo.
Yeah, Drew made a little contact. Drew Linscomb hit the receiver. It was almost an inadvertent hit.
And so that'll keep John Glenn's scoring drive alive here in the final seconds. And you see the interference call down on the field. Just 10 seconds left to go. Playing things out here. Oh, by the way, Big School Division Championship goes to Sheridan as they hold on and beat Tri-Valley 14-13, your final in a barn burner in Dresden tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll see those Generals next week as they continue to move on with their only loss, a three-pointer to Watkins Memorial. As they'll go to 8-1.
I think that was a big win over Licking Valley in week 1.
Out of the gun, Johnson for the final touches. And the final touches will go for Philo, sacked as Johnson's down. The final seconds will tick off as the Electrics will go to 4-5. John Glenn falls at 3-6, a senior night, parents' night victory for the Electrics on their home field at Sam Hatfield
I don't think
Stadium.
I've ever seen a team that excited about pushing their record to 4-5. I mean, these kids played a heck of a game tonight. Philo, except for the second quarter, dominated this entire football game.
So with the win to go to 4-5, the Electrics have a chance going into the game next week at rival Maysville. Chance to get back to 500 even at 5-5 and a playoff berth, which would be 3 straight years for the Philo Electrics if they get that win a week from Friday.
That will be a dogfight. Those two teams are big rivals. A lot on the line for both teams. If we weren't watching the game we were doing, I'd be at that stadium watching that game.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, John Glenn will get Tri-Valley, a team we just said just lost by a point to Sheridan. The Muskies will finish the season at home against the Scotties next week for what it's worth. They'll fall to 3-6 with the loss. 5 straight years in the postseason, pretty much done and over with, even with the win over Tri-Valley. I'm not sure that's going to be enough. Obviously, Tri-Valley, the number 1 team in their division and region, in Division 3, Region 11. But the Muskies fall short tonight in a comeback effort. 26-15, the Electrics were too good from start to finish overall. We'll have the Genesis player of the game when Doug and I come back to wrap this one up. How the Electrics were winners at home tonight here at Sam Hatfield.
It's our turn to say thank you and your time to save during the Customer Appreciation Sale at Kokona's Furniture and Mattress First. We went to our vendors and asked for special discounts, and we're passing the savings on to you. Get up to 6 years 0% APR with our sale price, or pay with cash check or credit card and save up to 20%. Plus, get a $95 gift card to help celebrate our 95-year anniversary. Even get free delivery and setup with our gold purchase plan. Enjoy these great savings as we say thank you during the Customer Appreciation Sale at all 4 Kokona's Mattress First locations.
Find the car you want now. The truck you want now. The travel trailer you want now at ThinksQualityAutos.com. Find the performance you want now. Luxury you want now. Economy you want now at ThinksQualityAutos.com. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, even travel trailers. Get the vehicle you want for less at Thinks. Find it now at Thinks or online at ThinksQualityAutos.com. Quick as a wink, deal with Thinks.
If you attended school in the state of Ohio, you may qualify to become a member of the Ohio Educational Credit Union. From elementary to high school, trade school through college, we're not just for teachers anymore. So come see us at the Ohio Educational Credit Union.
Grandchildren say some of the cutest things.
Don't miss out on any of them just because you can't hear.
Call us at Norvell's for a free hearing aid consultation.
Because when it comes to your grandchildren, you don't want to miss a thing.
Norvell's Hearing Aid Center, we're always here for you.
It's so sweet. It just makes the world a sweeter place, one chocolate at a time. Nothing but chocolate. We started in 2004. I want to not be the norm. I want to step it up. I want to be better than anything that they're used to. Lovely thing about the community bank is they know what you're kind of going through, so they are very supportive. As a business owner, the pressure of the world is on your shoulder every day. We get that support from the community bank.
Your locally owned Tire Pros, City Tire Zanesville, Coshocton City Tire, and Buckeye Tire Pros of Cambridge have the largest inventory in a 3-county area. They offer a simple, straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes nationwide warranties, hassle-free experience, and a vast selection of Michelin tires. No matter what you drive or where you've driven, Michelin has a tire to fit any need, and we offer service for your commercial vehicles to keep your business rolling.
When you need tires, think of us, your locally owned tire dealers.
Community Bank Game of the Week here at Sam Hatfield Stadium was a good one between these MVL schools, Philo and John Glenn. It went down to the fourth and final quarter. Let's take a look at the highlights here, Doug, if you will. As it got started in the first quarter, Cade Searles, 11-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion, no good. Electric's up, though, 6-0.
What a run. He wasn't touched. He just like has an extra gear.
It's not going to be the first and only time you're going to hear from Searles tonight. More on that later. But John Glenn had their moment in the dark, not in the sun. Touchdown run here from 3 yards out. Extra point was good. That was Winland scoring for John Glenn. They were up 7-6 with just over a minute left to go in the half, but with 3 seconds left to go in the first half. Here we go with a Drew Lincecum touchdown. What balance?
I'll tell you what, it's great balance. He put his hand down to keep his knee from hitting the deck. Nice job. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah, that was Searles throwing the football for an 82-yard touchdown to Griffin Wells with just about 3.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 2-point conversion, good. Philo all is well at 20-7. And we go to the fourth. Interception now thrown as John Glenn turns it over deep in Philo territory. Talon Preston with the INT there. He threw for 2 touchdown passes with that defensive play.
Complete football player and a sophomore.
Very impressive to say the least. Here's Preston. Just mentioned his name. One of his 2 touchdown passes goes to Cade Searles. What a catch!
I'll tell you what, he played off of that defender. The ball he had no idea the ball was coming, and all of a sudden he turns around and perfect throw.
26-7 Philo. John Glenn tried a late rally, just over 2 minutes left to go. They get a touchdown there. Reception made by Kobe Shade for the score from Jake Johnson. 2-pointer from Caleb Larrick was good. 26-15 was the final here tonight as Philo would hang on to be winners. Electrics go to 4-5 with the win. John Glenn fell to 3-6 with the loss. Philo's chances at a playoff berth for a third straight year is good. They have they have ability to do so with a game at Maysville next week. John Glenn's 5 straight years of playoffs could be dashed.
You know, Philo football is really important to this community and to these players, and they're still on the field. They had their senior walk, and their team's still on the field. They haven't even gone to the locker room yet. They were a great rival when I was at Crooksville, and I tell you what, I have so much respect for the Electrics. They're a tough bunch of kids. They play hard every week, and I think we're going to see next year a good team coming out of John Glenn because they only had 5 seniors on that squad.
That's right, just 5 seniors. Philo was 16 of them tonight, winning on the home field in their final home game this evening. On our Community Bank Game of the Week, Doug Clifford, I'm Hank Hoffman. Philo wins over John Glenn here tonight. Next week, New Lac Sheridan, Game of the Week in Week 10.
The Community Bank High School Football Game of the Week on WHIZ-TV is presented by the Community Bank. Now is the perfect time to join the Go Local movement by banking locally with the Community Bank. Genesis Orthopedic Center, where better begins here. By Williamson Insurance, the power of choice from top-rated national and regional insurance carriers. By Finks Harley Davidson, live to ride, ride to live. Finks Quality Cars and RVs. Quick as a wink, deal with Fink and Finks Easy Leasing and Rental. By Northside Pharmacy and Northside Oxygen and Medical Equipment. Northside, your pharmacy for life. By Norvell's Hearing Aid Centers in Zanesville and Cambridge, always here for you. By Foxfire Schools, free public alternative education serving students grade K through 12. By Kokonis Furniture and Mattress First, always making it easier for you to furnish your home. By City Tire Pros, serving our community since 1953. When you think tires, think City Tire Pros. By Denny's Classic Diner, America's favorite diner in Zanesville and Cambridge. Scoreboards are provided by the Finks family of motor vehicles and services, with instant replay brought to you by the Ohio Educational Credit Union. And the halftime show presented by CA House Music.
You don't don't have to be a full-time athlete to experience muscle, joint, or ligament issues. Injuries happen every day. Fortunately, the sports medicine team at Genesis is here to help. With expertise across a variety of musculoskeletal injuries and procedures, the latest technology in an office setting, and all the support of Genesis Healthcare System, we'll help you get back to whatever is most important in your life. Better begins here. Start your path to better at genesishcs.org.
Buckeye Apparel is a local screen printing embroidery shop. My brother and I started in my parents' basement. We started with the apparel, and then it led to our Mark of Valor, which is our motorsports themed apparel. Then it led into our locality store. As soon as I met with the community bank, I could tell that they cared about what I had going on, the projects, the business that I had going on. If you shop local, choose local, and bank local, it keeps your money back in your own pocket.
One of the things I really appreciate about Foxfire Schools is this chance to really, I think, assist the family unit, not just the individual child, but in some cases the child themselves, because for them this is their main reprieve. This is their main opportunity to be able to get away from difficult circumstances and challenges, and to help set them up for a really abundant life in the future, starting with academics, but also dealing with the whole person as well.